Welcome, everybody. Welcome to the show. I hope everybody had a good week and they're here to join us for some Star Trek. Um, and joining us tonight, Shieldwall. What's up?
Hey, how's it going, everybody? Happy to be here. Thanks for having me on, Jacob. Yeah, uh, it's always refreshing watching a couple episodes of DS9, see the good writing, good story for the most part. Sometimes some of the episodes aren't as strong, but that's what happens when you actually make 24 episodes in a season. Um, not every one of them can be top tier, but most of them are. Writing's good. Um, Stories intriguing. DS9 is my favorite Star Trek, just because it takes place in a complete one setting, so it's a little easier to kind of follow what's going along. Um, that's my opinion. But yeah, happy to be here and get into these episodes that we watched.
Cool. And also joining us, Admiral Teag.
Hey everybody, how you doing? It's good to see you. Hello, thanks for having me.
Yep, good to have you. And Mando should be joining us. She's having a little bit of technical issue, but she'll be joining us here in a few minutes. So, yeah, awesome.
Well, thank you for having me to talk about probably, I would say, the second weirdest Star Trek show and definitely the most unique Star Trek show. It's very good. It's a good show. It really kind of flies in the face of most of what we watch Star Trek for, yet still manages to be really good. And hello, Sarge. I always find it fun to close my blind spot with Deep Space Nine a little more when I come here with you.
Yeah, yeah.
This was the
It's
one I just never really watched.
yeah, it's definitely different from the others. The others are more adventure out through the galaxy. This one's more centrally located, so
They're
a little
st-
different.
they just are not episodic. This is the only real. Now, with bad Star Trek and bad modern Star Trek, of course, they have to do this, but this is about the only real Star Trek show where we go 5, 6, 7, 8 episodes in a row where we cannot get by without previously on Star Trek
Yeah,
because it's really deeply interwoven. And I think
Mhm.
I left off at you left me off at part one of a two-parter on this one, so go back and finish that
And
story.
that's what I liked about the show is that it expanded on much more like internal politics and things like that in the universe. And what I really like about it is it really fleshed out the Ferengi very well, um, which they're some of my favorite. Uh,
It was as good for the Ferengi as Voyager was bad for the Borg.
yeah, they're some of my favorite characters in the universe. Just their mentality, how they operate, and things like that is pretty interesting.
They
And
had
how
been
they also
boring and
difficult
terrible
plans.
problems until Deep Space Nine. Gene had a good idea with them. He messed up a little in execution, and then they fix him in Deep Space Nine. That's real redemption. Is that Mando? Hello.
That's the show.
that's the show.
Oh, sorry. Okay. So I was just like, that's a weird avatar, but I'll say hello anyway. You know what I like about this is we can see what we're looking at here. It's not overly murky, and there's not an Easter egg allegedly hidden in it that's not there at all because we had that freeze frame on my show for the entire show, and there was no TARDIS there. That was added later. That's a lie.
Mhm.
And I have to, every once in a while, I have to turn on my camera so that I can use my hands because I've committed to trying not to curse.
Yeah, so we're coming. They're on their way back from a mission in the Messon.
Yeah, I like that Worf came in here and there's a lot of TNG. They're not member berries, right? Even though TNG is over, this is in their world right now. There's a lot of TNG stuff in this episode. We have our pals, the Iconians, who I think isn't it their code overwrites the Yamoto's code in TNG, and then again we go to a planet where they have yet another Stargate, and they're masters of time and space. They're
Yeah,
basically time lords, but the thing is, we have two. overlapping, almost identically named species. I like to go with species because it doesn't make the AI suspicious of us when we talk about the aliens. So we have two interestingly overlap named, very, very similar species who are both ancient spacefaring equivalents of the Greeks, Romans, or Carthaginians. They were called either the Iconians or the Harkonians, and or the Arconians, and they are, and sometimes the Arcadians. They're always described almost exactly the same. Masters of time and space with able to get anywhere, anytime with like some sort of super teleportation technology. We've run into a couple of their stargates, and we lost the Yamoto to trying to download to interacting with one of their just interacting with their computer aggressively overwrote the Starfleet code. If I'm familiar with that, and Worf talks about the mission where they think. I believe they go down to the Iconian planet. They open up the Stargate, and it starts doing all sorts of things that put their ship in jeopardy. And Picard has to figure out a technical riddle to get them off the hook. I
It
think it's a
was,
season
And then
two.
they blow
yeah,
it up
he,
or
he
something.
talks about the mission to the Iconian homeworld. They discovered their homeworld. And
I think
he
that
doesn't,
might be a mistake. They find one of their bases, though. They find like a very established Arconian
well,
world.
in this episode, he specifically says their homeworld.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah. No, I think that might have been like I think they just forgot.
right,
They,
right.
they don't know, or maybe subsequent research in that episode. They're like, this was an established Arconian world. Look at their technology right here. This is how they communicated. They had like a palantir and stuff. It was really weird, right? That one.
Yeah. So they
I mean, the
go
writers just could have thrown that in there because it's like a real fast line. Because
into
as soon as he says it, Sisko walks in and they're like, "Oh no, the upper pylon on the ship is blown up."
yeah.
If they had
I
unpacked
mean,
this
on the station.
anymore, if they had unpacked this anymore, it would have been incumbent on Worf. Honestly, let's be honest. In world, it's incumbent on Worf to be like, I should remind you, sir, that a Galaxy class starship was already destroyed by interacting with this code. We're going to need our number one IT guy, sir. You know, like there is some tactical warnings involved with dealing with this technology that Worf and the show have not brought forward from TNG. And I just want to say they did a great job with Nana Visitor here. I think she's pretty heavily pregnant, but the
Mhm.
slightly grown out, not as much product, less crazy hair. She looks much nicer and softer here than we ever see her. Maybe motherhood is
Yeah.
just beautiful.
Yeah, that first hairdo is kind of prickly.
They take a couple of swings and misses at the. You know what? Like in Star Trek, we have evolving female fashion. For the next generation, it's Marina Sirtis with one terrible outfit after another that just keeps making her look more and more like a walking eggplant. And in this show, it's we just can't get Kira's hair right. Even Mira Kira has like terrible hair. This is the best it's ever looked. Most of the time, it looks like a restaurant that you have to look hard to find now. She looks like she's got Bob's Big Boy or a Ronald Reagan kind of haircut. It's really crazy.
Yeah.
Now here's Crichton. I mean, I'm sorry, Odo. He's going to end up
Yeah,
with
I'll be
being
right back.
sentenced. Oh, I'm sorry. I like how at the end of this episode he was sentenced to be Crichton from Red Dwarf. That was a little weird.
Yeah.
For those who
So
don't know what we're talking about, they're going to mark him in a way that makes him kind of like Clyden from Red Dwarf.
I have never seen that show. I mean,
Okay,
I know of it, but I
basically,
haven't watched like
Crichton is just like a hologram, like a computer, like a projection, or I'm sorry, an android, and he's just like he sort of looks a little like Odo, but he's more squared off. He's supposed to look a little bit low res.
oh, kind of like Max Headroom from the 80s.
A little bit, but consider that on a walking, talking actor. You know what I mean? Like the
Right,
digital component of Max Headroom is impossible to undercut. But I thought here, this is now Odo's second trip back to the Great Link, and he's done a couple of messed up things since then. Like found out that stun doesn't work on changelings, and I would just say, if you really want to solve some of the problems that are cropping up in this episode, you know what we really need? We need a lot of betazoids because betazoids can tell when someone's a changeling. They could have
Right.
solved some problems. There should have been a line of dialogue about needing them.
Well, so the upper pylon was blown up. The other thing is that in that scene is that Julian was sitting in Worf's seat, and he's
Right,
like,
yes.
yeah. And
Was
when he
the
comes in, they're
pylon
like,
blown up last episode? Is that carrying over from the previous episode, or is that just
no,
the
this
news of the
just happened.
day? We had a major WMD attack on the station.
That is this episode is when they figure that out. They show up to the space station. The pylons exploded, and
All right, so this is after the fact for us, right? Okay.
right. Well, this is them finding out about it right now.
Yeah.
The pylon got blown up. They just showed up at it, and they're like, "Oh, it's been attacked by the." This is what's the name of this episode?
To the Death.
To the Death. So this is the one where the Jem'Hadar have done a strike on the
Station.
on the station, and they've stolen a whole bunch of like equipment that they need to rebuild this Iconian Stargate thing.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, you gave me the wrong episode, so I watched the one before this too. With so I just want to say, Sisko is a terrible commander who just took terrible security risks. Why isn't Cassidy in jail right now?
Right.
Is she in this episode?
Is she in jail?
No, her activities in the last episode actually mean that Jem'Hadar have some justification because she really is smuggling arms to the people who are fighting the Dominion.
Yeah.
So, all right. So they see that the station, one of the pylons has exploded, and those are pretty big. So there were people in there that died. So they come back and are like, "What's the situation?" And Bashir is going to help some of the wounded and stuff.
Right, and Quark is out of his mind, worried about Knob for no reason.
Worried about his brother.
Out of nowhere. For the first time in his life, compassionate thoughts.
Because his brother said he was going to be working on the upper pylons. And then...
that might be the most triumphant Star Trek characters, by the way. I like his whole... I'm sorry, no, it's his nephew, right? Who chose to the Federation.
It's his brother. Right, it's his nephew. It's
that's a
Rob's
very
son.
Triumphant Star Trek character, honestly.
Yeah. Rob's son Nog joins the Federation because he grew up around humans, basically. But so they get to the ship or to the station, and they find out that there's like 130 people missing, like 21 dead, a whole 81 wounded. So it's a big explosion. It's a big deal. It's not the normal, like when Red Shirt got killed when a panel exploded he was sitting at.
What was great about this was we didn't have to see bodies in space or blood everywhere like we would have in modern Star Trek.
Or them come out of the wormhole and say the F word. Oh.
Right. Or you know what? This one, because I jumped into the research right before, I was just a little bit disoriented. I think we start the episode and it's already happened and we're picking up the pieces, right? And we've got people walking around disoriented. And the officer, the casual conversation is on like either the Defiant on their way back before they realize this, or is that they're just out of touch and this happens next, and then is it a hard cut from one moment of peace to the moment of like, okay, this has just happened off camera? Because we don't show a huge explosion that I remember.
No. They show up in the ship and it's just debris.
Everything's fine on the Defiant and it's pandemonium on the station.
Right.
That's why they're able to be calm and detached. They don't know yet. They're in the wormhole. Thank you.
If you when they talked to Kira, it was about 40 minutes since the explosion.
Yeah.
So
thanks, guys. I'm sorry, I'm not totally read in on this
one. They showed up. So, and so they were like, "What happened?" They said the Jem'Hadar, they came in
a merchant ship
on a merchant ship, right? And they beamed in. They hit key areas. They knew where to go, and they caused a bunch of casualties, destroyed a bunch of stuff, and then they stole all this stuff because he has a list of all the things that was taken. That's what Odo's handing to him now. along with the casualties and all that. And then he's like, all right, we got to immediately go back and try to find these guys because Dax says if it's only been 40 minutes or 45 minutes, they're
We've
ion
got there.
trails.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're
Or
gonna, we can still
tronium trails,
track them.
whatever. Right. They can still track them. So they have to
We
leave
get
that.
into a little bit of like, we might have gone one level too deep into technical talk with that one, right? Like we edify it like one too many times, like how we could do it. It's like, just let us know there's a space breadcrumb trail and move on because this is shaky. Like trying to shore it up, you're just calling more attention to the fact that you have magical tech. It's like, okay, we know that it's a magical
Right.
BS tracking system. They're leaving an anti-proton trail. Like we've heard this one before. You don't have to say it twice.
So they immediately go back on the ship and leave, and go through the wormhole to try to track them. And then you get the intro.
Yeah, I would just have to say, the opposite of L'Chaim, right? So much for to life.
Right.
I point out that these words to the death are usually preceded by a dueling challenge in which someone gets choice of time and place, the challenger, and the challenge gets choice of weapon. So I don't know if they're trying to play into that or they just think it sounds cool. But there does seem to be something about choice of weapon, especially with how Sisko's ultimately going to resolve this. Seems to be foreshadowed just a little bit when Odo turns into like warm ice cream.
Yeah. So they pick up a ship and it's a damaged Jem'Hadar warship.
Right.
It's about to blow.
It's about the core's reactor is going to go critical, and they have there's like 7 or 8 people on board. So they're like, well, something attacked them. What was it? Maybe it was, what's going on here? So they're going to beam them aboard to question them, and you see some of the transport. So they bring in the security squad. Now this is a lot of people for this ship because the crew complement is only 50. So
yeah,
that's a lot of security. That's probably like every last security member.
I mean, unless they're going after the strike team and just let's put more people on board.
They didn't say it. I'm just bringing up.
I know. Yeah.
The stated crew complement is around.
Yeah,
50.
no, that's operational crew. I'm thinking Sisko is like, I want some of those old school makos like they had back on Archer's mission on my ship.
I wish they would kind of do that where they would put them in different stuff. Anyway, so they're all lined up here ready to, vaporize whatever comes in. And here's one thing that sometimes they touch on transporter technology, sometimes they don't, is I've seen it where they've deactivated their weapons so they still have them, but they won't work. Or in this case, they just completely took them away. Because I guess you can filter for what you're actually going to rematerialize, and they just didn't rematerialize their weapons.
Right.
And it changes.
I like that one because it's okay. We've already accepted this big leap of faith with this technology decades ago in Star Trek. But the relieving you of your weapons, through transport, we've seen that done to our heroes enough for it to work out. We've seen it enough. It's like, all right, Star Trek stuff. This is typical. Okay, now we've done it a different way. Now we've finally flipped it on someone. All right, about time. Well earned. We waited 35 years to do it to someone else.
Is this the first we see Wei Yun, or is this?
I believe so.
No way. No, the first time we see Wei Yun, he is preening and he is threatening and he is solo and he is telling us about things that are going to happen and he is threatening and he has a bit of a sexual vibe to him, to be honest with you. This Wei Yun is a little more... I don't know if this is the prime Wei Yun who comes in messing with us, because we find out there's like a dozen of them. And each one of them, Jeffrey Coombs is good enough to do like a slightly different version of Shram. But I think this is a one-off Wei Yun. This seems to be a one-off Wei Yun.
Right. I just can't remember if he
This one's more of an idiot than most. He really just keeps rubbing it into people's faces. Like, this is the one thing I have over you. If you get this away from me, I'll have nothing, and I'm just going to be a real jerk.
I don't. I think they've already established that these guys are all clones. Like Wayun has multiple clones, so because
Yeah,
otherwise
but this was not one. Like when the Dominion sends us their Wayun clones, they're not sending their best anymore. Shieldwall, they're not sending the best Wayun clones
But I mean,
anymore.
as the
Some
audience,
I assume are very good people, but this one was an idiot.
if the point I'm getting to is if you watch the show up to this
She was a
point,
defective clone.
you would, and the crew would have known that this isn't. They wouldn't be like, well, why is this dude here if he's already died once or whatever?
We'd seen one or two more. We'd seen one die with another one walk right on and preen more and talk about how there's a bunch of them. So we're well aware that we can just kill a Wayun anytime we want. And in this episode, when we do it, it is hilarious. It is hilarious. I mean, this was not the smartest episode, but that moment I had a good laugh. And it was okay Star Trek, to be honest.
Yeah. It is one of my favorite episodes because it's, you get to see the Jem'Hadar and Starfleet working together kind of.
And a touch of real Star Trekking. We end up going to a weird place. You know what I mean? We go to some strange place. Like we find out something about a new species that's only been introduced a couple of episodes back, a couple of seasons back. The Jem'Hadar are still fairly new on the scene here. This is interesting stuff to us as fans. This is all useful information, and this is our second trip ever to the Great Link. Correct?
Yep.
Well,
and the first time we didn't find out much more than it exists, and it's a weird place. Hey, Untamed.
Hey, Mando.
Hello.
You're back.
Goodness, a storm rolled through, and just all the power just gone.
Crazy.
I know, right?
The raccoons. Just blame the raccoons.
Is that why
Yes, the
Beard isn't
raccoon
here?
struck.
I was under the impression Beard was going to be here too. Is the storm affecting him? He's all right?
Who?
Should be fine.
Oh yeah, I thought Beard of Liberty was going to be here too. I may have misread the description of the screen.
He's taking a break from
Yeah.
YouTube for a little bit.
Oh boy, who would ever think that would be stressful enough that you would want to take a break? What kind of person does that? Coming soon, Admiral Teag's break.
I don't think it was stressful for him.
reality.
No, yeah,
Stuff he's got to do.
stuff
Like
going on in real life that needs to be taken care of.
move or
I
something.
love when real life interrupts YouTube for a little while. I'll be honest
Exactly.
with you. I look forward to it.
Yeah. And it gives you a chance to take a break.
So this is where Wayun wants to talk to the captain privately, and what he is explaining is that there is a whole unit of Jem'Hadar that have rebelled, and they went on a mission to go, and they found this planet with the Iconian Gate, and then that triggered a rebellion. A whole unit of like 200 Jem'Hadar broke
Which
away.
I want to know how they're able to did they also find an Arcodian replicator that made the white? The white, for those who don't know, is this some sort of lotus juice that they could drink that that they put into those. If we've all seen the oxygen tubes feeding the liquid into their necks, this is what's in there. It's food, a stimulant. They don't sleep, they don't eat, and they do not have intercourse. So they are they're living their best life just when they're fighting and killing.
Right. And they never really address that. His point is that they've broken away, but they want to keep it a secret because they don't want the rebellion to spread. This is Wayun's mind and worrying about it. So,
I'm with you. It's just that we later on then build the episode around the weaknesses that make this. We then spend time building up reasons for us to think about. Wait a minute. Wait, and he's like, we have total control over him. Like, what? No, you don't. Wait, what? So it's a lot of this is a good episode, but the dialogue it becomes very confusing. You need some deep space grounding in this one. I had to hit memory alpha once or twice.
Mando, did you watch? Was this the episode you watched? Just to make sure.
I'm checking. What was the name of this one?
To
To the death.
Nope. My episode
that's
I
my
watched
fault.
was
I should've
Family
put the name.
Business.
Oh.
Oh, well.
In the future, I'll put the name of the episode. So it's
Thank you.
Sorry about that.
Yeah, for the chat, one of the issues we're having is if Jacob says watch season 4 episode 23 and 24 for an example, on certain streaming services that they're out of order, like the numbers are different
because of the two-parters.
right.
Yep.
Yeah, it screws them up so that it. And
You have
this
to
has
put the
happened to us, like,
episode
twice
name.
already.
You
Yeah,
have to go with the episode name. And
Yep.
and unfortunately, sometimes that gets jumped on the service, so you have to look on Google. You can't take the service's word for it either.
Right.
I've had that happen to me. I watched an entire wrong season of Miami Vice. It's like, I'm ready. It's like, I've watched 22 episodes. I'm ready to hit the ground running. And it's like, what the hell are you talking about?
That's the wrong
Right.
season.
That's why maybe some of the
Right.
commentary tonight on some of these episodes is a little confusing because the way that the episodes panned out. One of the ones that we watched, Odo does go to the link, back to the link, but it's not this episode.
I'm
Wait,
just
no,
now realizing
I saw 22 and 24, and the names were different, but I watched both episodes that could be called both. So I mean, I'm read in on this one. I had just enough time to get them done.
Yeah.
So I don't know, whatever you want to call them.
I'm just now realizing the place that I went to because I sail the high seas. I didn't even watch the right season. This was season 3 I watched. Whoopsie day.
Oh no.
And by the way, I think
Cool. I'm going to just sit here and just look cool.
You fought to get your internet back for that.
Yep.
But
it's
by the way,
okay.
I believe
It's okay.
Star Trek
We're
goes
glad
a
you're
little
here,
longer. The standard season, we said 22. Star Trek is a 26 episode season for almost every show,
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Exactly.
which is crazy when you think about how much work they do.
Yep.
And kind of excuses some of those lighthearted episodes that they're now saying are like woven into Star Trek. Yeah, if you're going to do 26 episodes, one can be off the wall. You can't do 10 episodes where 6 are off the wall, and then you try to be grounded the other 4. I mean,
At
give me a
least
break.
1 or 2 episodes a season has to be like an elevator episode. Where
Yes.
it's like people in a room or something trapped.
Yeah, they
And
they
that
get trapped.
That doesn't work in a 10 episode season.
No. Well, in 10 episode season, you can barely tell a story.
They
Yeah.
can't.
I
tell a story
hate
at all,
the
but-
switch from like I will say there used to be some shows that had too many episodes per season, but I don't like this opposite direction of having like 5 episodes per season. It's like what?
It doesn't need to have 26 episodes as long as it can tell a good story from start to finish in a season
Right.
and like get a lot of that stuff in there without having to skimp on stuff. And you can, if you want, you can waste time and have like a guy wander around a castle for the whole season, not meeting anybody, like House of the Dragon did. But when you only have eight or 10 episodes, that's
Did
not
you
the
have
best
to
use of
say
time
House
for
of the
that.
Dragon?
But that was an example of where they did that to Damon. They had him walk around some castle for like the entire season. He did nothing.
They told him the castle's haunted. He goes there anyway. Then he takes a nap. He wakes up. He sees a witch, and she tells him, "Oh, you're sleeping in a haunted bed. You shouldn't do that. You'll have like weird dreams." So what does he do? Takes like 6 more naps in a haunted bed. We'll never be able to figure out if he's returned to reality. He could be tripping for the rest of that series.
Right. And they're trying to crush too much stuff together. Whereas if you have 15, 18, 20 episodes, you can really tell a story and flesh everybody's character out without having to put a bunch of filler in it. So you just need to make it as long as it needs to be for the story to get told without arbitrary limits set on it.
Right. And when you're especially when you're adapting a book to a TV series, which I think is the better medium to adapt books from, books to TV, because with books, typically you can go into a little bit more detail, like in a TV series. And I think just like you said earlier, like what you just said, like tell the story in as many episodes as you need. Like especially with House of the Dragon, you have source material to work with. You don't need to make it 6 episodes. You can make it 12 or 20 or 30 depending on whatever book you're adapting from. I have not watched the Game of Thrones series.
They
or read.
couldn't even make 10. There should have been that should have been a 6-episode season. There was like 6 episodes worth of story in there.
Yeah,
Right.
I am of the opinion. I am one of those people, which a lot of people are surprised that I've never read any of the Game of Thrones, like even the prequel series, like House of the Dragon stuff, because I refuse to give Mr. Martin any fame, attention as far as like reading his material until he finishes his series, and which he will not. So I am not gonna. I don't like to start things I know are not finished. I'm not gonna do it.
Right. Yeah, there's a lot of shows out there that start out good and then they get canceled for whatever reason. But anyway,
Sorry.
So this Wei Yun once says that if more Jem'Hadar go AWOL and join these others, that they'll be able to put troops on any planet throughout the system instantly.
By using the Iconian Gate. Also, if they overthrow, he's like, we've done the projections. If they get control of the gate and then they get more Jem'Hadar to join their side, the Dominion will fall within a year. And if they're not in control, if there's nobody in control of the Jem'Hadar, then because they're bred for war, that's what they'll do. And they'll just spread out across the galaxy and destroy everything. Because that's what they do. They don't eat, they don't sleep, they don't reproduce, like normal. They don't have, the only purpose is to fight. So they're kind of like 40k orcs.
To be fair, they're very happy in this existence for some unknown reason. But yes.
Well, they're
genetically designed to be.
Well, one, that's how they're genetically designed, and two, like when you're hopped up on drugs and like psychedelic drugs, which I assume these are probably some sort of psychedelics, like is probably injected in there somewhere. Like you can convince anyone of anything when you have a psychedelic.
Right. So, but the point is you don't want them to be uncontrolled and just running wild.
Mm-hmm.
So Sisko agrees, like, yeah, you got a point. So they decide that they're going to help. But Wei-Un wants to keep the mission secret to his Jem'Hadar because he's afraid that they'll flip on him. And that will become important later. Now, also keep in mind that Wei-Un and the Jem'Hadar think that Odo is a god, so they're not going to ever attack him or anything, and he can boss them around, which I don't understand why he doesn't use that more.
Yeah.
Well, I would go on vacation on their planet, right?
Right. Yeah. So now he's having interactions with the number one. I can't remember his name. It was like Ulamek or something. And there's a big cultural difference between Sisko and this number one Jem'Hadar.
The white guy with the bad hairline. Oh, you're talking about the Jem'Hadar guy. Yeah, okay. We also have a couple of people on Sisko's case that he's acting a little out of whack, or am I confusing that with the previous episode where they're telling him you really can't let your girlfriend run drugs and
that's the
weapons.
Episode.
Yeah, I'm sorry. That guy was acting as exec of the Defiant in that episode, though, for some strange reason.
Yeah. So they're trying to come to terms with how they're going to work this out.
Sisko and this guy have they're basically, this is like, if you've seen your military movies, your officer and a gentleman, your Full Metal Jacket, this is your square off of drill sergeants sort of thing. You know what I mean? It's like Lou Gossett Jr. from Officer and a Gentleman stepping up to Arlie Ermy having like a cursing and screaming contest. It's like, which one of them can pee harder and longer, as they say.
Well, this is the Americans and Russians joining forces to fight the horde of monsters that the Nazis released.
Mm-hmm.
So what this scene is basically Sisko telling this guy, I'm in charge. You're going to do what I say. And he's like, all right. But, there's still going to be tension there.
That's when Sisko also asked for his cut of the white. It's like, I get 10% of everything the Jem'Hadar give you for the way you.
I'll have this
Or
on
you
every
might just
street
find
corner in
yourself
the
like, no.
Federation.
I don't want it near kids. I don't want it sold near schools.
Here we go. Briefing time. So these Jem'Hadar are supposed to think that they're just going after some rogues to get rid of. So
All right, so here's the briefing. And we're talking. Okay, so there's this ziggurat thing on the planet, which I believe is Iconian in construction, and it holds the gate, and they have to assault it. So they're going to ask like questions about what are the standard, Jem'Hadar procedures for defense of this. And also they were like, well, can't we just destroy it from space with like some quantum torpedoes? And this is when Wayne is like, it's made out of like neutronium night or something, and it won't, like, the torpedoes won't do anything to it. It won't like penetrate enough to destroy the thing that they want to destroy.
yeah,
That was one criticism I had about this, is not this, but that we then took what could have been most of one episode in and of itself and mixed it in with a lot of other good ideas. Now, maybe this is complaining about the wrong thing, but this is an embarrassment of riches, because what we do is we encapsulate a little bit of what we would call a dirty dozen sort of thing here. It's like, we're going to train specifically for this specific mission, and 27 steps down the hallway, turn fire. Like, that's the kind of specificness they're going for. And so they're being run through the paces in their holodeck on the Defiant, which is for defense only, but has a holodeck. I guess
Well, it doesn't have
tactically
a
it makes
holodeck.
sense.
They run the drills in the engine room.
Is that what it is? Okay,
Yeah,
I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
they run the drills in the
Thank you.
engine room. Yeah,
Much more practical.
Yep, there's
Now,
no holodeck on the.
if you've been watching X-Files with us, this guy plays the shape-shifting alien bounty hunter in X-Files.
Yeah, he was also
Tooms?
the main bad
No,
guy in
no.
Cobra, the movie Cobra. I can't remember the actor's name.
Yeah,
But you can tell it's him even under all that
Yeah.
makeup. His like personality shines.
His voice is very distinctive.
Right.
I
Yeah.
recognize this actor from the time period, but I was like, oh, that guy was in a lot of stuff. You
Yeah.
looked at his eyes, you're like, I kind of know who this guy is. For
So
a minute,
this
I
is-
thought it was Galron because of the color of his eyes.
This is the second. So the other guy's the first. This one's the second in command, and he challenges. Basically, he's saying, you guys are all cowards, and Worf isn't. I knew a Klingon was going to be cowardly. He's like, I always wanted to kill a Klingon. So they're doing a stare down, and this guy's like provoking and stuff. And this is where Sisko's like, hey, I'm ordering you guys to cool it. And
Which is
Omeron-
wise. Worf is whacked out on prune juice. He's ready to do anything. He's around Jadzia, which always kind of unstable. He's very unstable and erratic around Jadzia, even before they super ship them.
yeah.
Right. And so basically this scene sets up, there's a lot of tension between the Jem'Hadar think the humans and the Federation are super weak, and they won't do what it
They're
takes
right.
to win. Whereas the humans think that these guys are all one track, and that they're basically bloodthirsty murderers and all this kind of stuff. But the Jem'Hadar are based in loyalty and tradition, is like what they live.
Oh, I thought you were just going to say the Jem'Hadar are based because they're into murder and drugs.
No,
I was like,
they're
they're absolutely based.
Their whole existence is based on loyalty, combat,
And drugs.
and yeah.
They overcome the loyalty and the combat addiction very easily to secure the drugs without any more problems.
I mean,
They're
it's
sick and
drugs.
Tired of their drug dealer. Yeah, but
So-
their loyalty goes as far as if they can bushwhack one drug dealer by himself. And I guess the implication we're left with to answer the question from earlier is he's got like a Jem'Hadar white generating replicator with its own self power source. That's what they get off of him.
Yeah.
He doesn't have a like a certain amount of it. He has a replicator that makes just that.
Right. And that must be what the renegade ones have too.
That
Well,
explains the renegades nicely at the end with a little bit of thinking they showed and didn't tell. No stupid
Yeah.
exposition.
the other thing is I would imagine that they keep a pretty large stock of it on hand, especially if an entire unit in mass defects. Then they might have one of those replicator things you're talking about, but they also might have a giant stockpile of this stuff.
Oh, I think you install the replicator, you mass produce a backlog in case the replicator goes down, or it's like you
Right.
say, and then you just you keep the freshest on stock. You just we'll rotate it out like milk at a grocery store.
Yeah, I mean they never save it as a shelf life or anything, but so
It's a lot, for a minute there, when you saw the size of it, you had to say that's a real tactical problem every 4 hours. But then you're like, well, that's food. The thing is, I can miss 3 meals and still put 3 pounds of force on a trigger. I think the Jem'Hadar, after missing a dose of this, about 1 dose later, after their second missed dose, are useless and rolling around and opiate withdrawal syndrome. Whereas you and I are still good to go. So it doesn't matter how tough they are. We just got to wait about 7 hours if they don't have one of these replicators. But I would imagine this is a very highly sophisticated and specialized replicator that only Wei-Yun or one of the founders can have. So once they get that, it answers the question from before. And of course, they don't have to listen to his crap anymore. And they've had enough with him. Crap's okay, right, Jacob?
Yeah, you're good. You're good.
Okay, cool. How am I doing? Have I cursed by mistake yet? I haven't.
No,
noticed.
you're good.
Wow.
So
here we find out that the Jem'Hadar here already know what their mission is. Already know about the transporter thing.
right, and they already know that the whole other unit defected. And he's like, but you don't have to worry about us because we're loyal. Because I can't. The one thing I can't stand is a traitor. And so, and throughout the majority of Deep Space Nine, the Jem'Hadar are they're bloodthirsty and they're warlike, but they're mostly honorable, right? And it's usually the Vorta that are weaselly and always trying to lie and manipulate and all this kind of stuff. So they portray that pretty well with this Wei-Yun in this episode.
They do this much better than they do in Enterprise when they try to throw 5 different kinds of Xindi at you with 5 different unique sets of traits, but somehow they're all the same and allies. With this, a little less disorganized, and we spent a couple of years building it up, and we met one kind and then the next and then the next. So
Right.
Yeah.
I'm not a huge fan of Jem'Hadar, but I do think they were one of the last fairly formidably fearsome looking makeup jobs.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, the makeup's really good on these, especially with the second when he gets up in the face of Worf. The actor breathes so fiercely in his mask that the nostrils flare from just the force of his
really
breath. It was
I
pretty good.
wonder if they didn't have an air bladder under his arm that he could push in to make it fly. You know what I mean? There might have been somehow.
You could hear him exhale. I think.
You could. That's Foley art too, right? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, so we get a little bit of humor here. Dax asks him how old he is, and he's 8. And he asks her how old she is, and she's like, I stopped counting at 300.
So, because she says, well,
That's Roman. Roman does that.
I know, right?
And he says, if you make it to 20 years old, he's like, no Jem'Hadars live past 40. And it's a kind of a bad thing if you do, because, you're supposed to die in combat.
No, if you become 40, you become an honored elder.
That's if you become 20.
That's
if you become 20.
Oh, that's right. If you go 20.
Yeah.
I think the deal is if you hit 40, right? If you're a Jem'Hadar at 40, you're going to burn out anyway because you're fueled by drugs here. So
Drugs and hate.
Thinking by 47, 48, you're dead. So it's by 40, it's you're ready for Dominion radio circuit. And it's just hello, Jem'Hadar hour here. Let's begin with the 2 minutes hate. The human Orwell gave this idea to us, but we like it. I think that's, for your last 5 years, your recruitment.
If they did last that long, they might get more rebellion, on their hands.
Right. Because he tells her that within 3 days of being gestated out of their little gestation
they're
chamber.
fully ready to
they're,
fight.
they're ready to fight. And then he said,
But fight what though? I mean, I liked the fact that they weren't, in newer Star Trek, what they would have said is after 3 days they can kill this specifically strong thing, and then later on we would have found out they couldn't. That's a line that showed some consideration. They're ready to fight in 3 days. He didn't say that they're effective warriors or great warriors, or he'd be like, so there's still room left for them if they have to revisit this and they want to do it. It could be like a 10-year-old who's just very feisty. Like Alexander.
Right.
Still fits what they said.
So when he tells her that he's 8 years old, he's like middle-aged for them.
Yeah, right. In dog years.
This is also, by the way, planting the seeds of a really freaking horrible idea known as Cass.
Cass? What?
The problem with the Jem'Hadar's age is that this is starting to give them the idea that they play at the ages of species. It can make it look really weird, like Guinan being like super old and the wisdom and stuff like that. And then they try this thing with the Jem'Hadar only making it to 40, which makes sense. It's like thinking about being like, say, like an 18-year-old Roman gladiator. How much time do you have? You know what I mean? So
Right.
that one makes sense, but it sort of undercuts some other Star Trek stuff.
This is an important scene here. So go back a little bit.
Sorry.
This is where they show that Weyoun, it's time for him to dispense the Ketracel White. Now, it's supposed to be almost like a ceremony. And so they're supposed to say certain things to each other, and then he's supposed to hand it out. And I can't remember exactly what he says.
It was vaguely like Catholicism. It was like he turns this thing up. This is the only thing I didn't appreciate about it, and it, believe it or not, has nothing to do with the fact that I'm Catholic, and it has nothing to do with anything they said. I kind of understood that they had to give it the format of a familiar religion so that people would get what was going on, but it also had the banality in the oldest sense of the word. Like, they're his banes, and also the banality in the modern sense of the word of just like, there was just a functionality and a hierarchy to it. And they had to stand there and say these things to get their fix. And the only mistake here we didn't have was we didn't show it replicating and appearing on the platform to show the technical and endless component of it. They accidentally leave us with the thing of the impression that this is a humidor. You know what I mean?
Yeah, right.
Only problem with this scene.
Well, the thing that's the scene, to me, it was more like a military ceremony, right? It might have a religious component, but it's more
there
like
was a religion. There was absolutely a military. There was absolutely a military component to it, but think of the military component of, say, the British military with the Church of England and the monarch being the head of the military. Yeah, the Crusades would be closer, maybe to the Jem'Hadar. If you want to give them the form of a more modern society, say like modern England with just a little bit of pomp and circumstance and ceremony, it's not quite the change. This is like the inverse of the changing of the guard. It's like the changing of the guards like fix. It's like, here's your nicotine cartridge, guys. Here's your patch.
The important part of this scene, though, is how annoyed Weyoun seems to be given to these guys, where they take it very seriously, right? Because this is
he's underestimating how jonesing out they are. If people have ever used drugs, they know what I mean. They are hurting for these drugs, and he doesn't realize it, like you said. But he's also, his cavalier nature is wearing on them in a way we don't know until later when they deal with him.
Right, because he's cheapening the ceremony and taking away from the importance of it, because he was eating and he's like, all right, fine. Now,
but he's also lengthening their wait time. They came there to remember he already shorted them once because they made him angry.
Right. And but that's their means of control. But exactly. And then he treated that ceremony like it didn't really matter. And that really pisses them off because their whole life revolves around that kind of stuff.
Right, and it was, like I said, the banality of it, right? There's a hierarchy, and he doesn't get. It's just a job to him to say these words.
Exactly.
Imagine going to the priest, going to church, and the guy running the service is like phoning it in, and his mind's on something else, and like maybe while you're responding, he's like checking his phone, like looking at like the market, like I don't know, like that level of disdain, because to them, this is a religion.
but it also gives you the viewer mindset into the Jem'Hadar, and this is what they have to go through, and this is what they live for. This Ketracel White,
Well, this it's like it's their sacrament.
right? It's also it's like getting paid as well.
Yeah.
It's their salary, it's their sacrament, it's everything.
It's their nutrition,
Yep.
it's their sleep, it's their sex.
Yep, right.
This takes the place of a lot of things. There are no female. Now this is one like the Little Rascals would have loved. There are no female Jem'Hadar, so the He-Man Women Haters Club would have no role here. They've already won. But what I like is that the Jem'Hadar are totally okay with this. It's like, do you pack the gear? Do any like? There's no need to pee anyway. Like, do you pack any gear? I mean, I got questions.
Yeah, I don't know if they ever answer that in the show.
No.
But didn't I see some new thing where
New Star Trek would answer it at length, but I'm glad they don't. I'm just saying it's a little weird. They're a little weird.
Well,
is the best way to put it.
Well, that new season of Discovery.
Yeah.
It's the Academy. It's Starfleet
know what?
Academy in the future.
You're talking about the
there's
they
female
them
Jem'Hadar.
Hadar that's a
I
they them
guess.
Hadar.
yeah,
Yes.
it's terrible.
I have a picture of that I could show it real quick
Yeah.
if y'all want to.
So real quick,
Yeah, go
here,
ahead. That's the only high effort alien they're going to have on that show, and it's quite clearly just a large black woman. It's a big bodied black lady. We've all met them. We all know them. There's nothing wrong with saying what something is. She's a big bodied black lady.
So here in this scene, they're supposed to work together, right? So that one guy walked up to Miles and was like, "Hey, let's go train." And he's like, "Hey, I'm not ready yet. Let me finish my coffee." And he's like, "I'm ready now." And
Yeah,
then
you humans with your sleep and your dreams
Yeah.
of having breakfast.
right, yeah, exactly. And so the second gets in starts digging into Miles about being weak and stuff. So Worf has had enough of his crap, so he stands up and smacks him in the face, which is a Klingon thing to do. Like, hey, I'm challenging you, calling you out, and this guy might take it a little differently. Like,
Yeah,
that means we're going to fight to the death now, which I think maybe Worf intended that to mean that. But
It did, yeah.
yeah, so they
it
get into
made
a big
sense to have
fighting
the
match.
warriors go at
Well,
each
it's
other.
like
but
the
did anyone
Klingon
think
way of smacking you on the back of the head. They give you the fist, but if they slap you open handed, it's like that's on.
Right.
Yeah, you don't
That-
even
this-
deserve a close-handed punch. They're challenging you, not trying to hurt you. But I was just
Exactly.
very,
It's like
very
a-
quickly, did anyone else think that this went against the man that Miles O'Brien can tap into that we know is inside of him? This darkness has been reestablished
yeah.
a couple of times, but the darkness of the man who had to kill those Cardassians. And then the one he was
Yeah, I
so
wanted to
angry
see
that
that.
he killed the last one out of anger. He has killed hot-bloodedly and cold-bloodedly in war. He was in the Federation military before he was in Starfleet, and he was a foot soldier in the war against the Cardassians. I got to think if you start messing with O'Brien, the one problem I had
Oh,
here
yeah.
is
It'll come
he
out.
would have started acting like a challenged Nam guy, like in Full Metal Jacket when the Marines are like all messing with each other and pulling guns on each other, and it's like who's better than who, and like sticking knives in each other's faces. It would have been more like that, you know, like he's like, I'm not Smiley O'Brien, buddy. I'll like burn you down right here.
that they have in previous episodes like TNG and other Deep Space Nine, like he had to like testify at some kind of court martial or something, and they went through his record, and not only had been a ground troop and been on all these battles and been decorated, but he'd also been in something crazy like 180 space fights.
He had been in, yeah, it was extensive. He was
Yeah.
he was Universal Soldier, and like honestly, the guy who sings Gary Owen with Captain Maxwell, he would not have let Worf step in. He would have been like, "Step back, Klingon. I've had it out with some Cardies, and I'll have it out with this lizard man too. Come here, you sexless monster."
Yeah. That would be
Jenna!
cool.
Hi.
Hey, Jana. What's up?
Hello. I think about it though. It's like I live with Keiko. I have plenty of anger. Come at me.
Oh, Snorter Poopas was here. Sorry. Didn't see you there, buddy. Glad you're here.
Guys, I'm not into the comments. I apologize. Let me jump in there.
And Roman was here. Roman stuff,
Yeah,
counting how old he was at 300.
Yeah. Mhm.
So
Well,
it was,
Roman and I are both Highlanders. I've known him a long time.
Yes.
So yeah, Miles fought at the massacre of Setlik III, when he was served aboard the USS Rutledge. Cardassian border conflict, Borg encounters, Klingon Civil War, other skirmishes, Bajoran militia and other skirmishes, Marquee conflicts.
Yeah, he's been through some things.
Right.
He's seen a lot of people die. He's seen ships destroyed. He's seen battles where multiple ships on both sides got destroyed and nothing was gained. He watched his old captain destroy, what was it, 20,000 Cardassians on each of the 5 ships. He just 100,000 Cardassians, kill them all in 5 minutes, and then went and sang songs with them and convinced them to give up his ship.
Yeah.
He's seen things.
Right. So
Yep.
he's been around. So yeah, but I don't know. Maybe he's able to control it a little bit better. He wasn't really scared of that dude. That would make sense too.
Yeah.
This guy's all puffed up, and I'm just whatever. I'm going to finish my breakfast.
He might have been you know what? Worf loves this stuff. But I think we needed a line because O'Brien is too formidable to take that disrespect. He's not an arrogant guy, but I don't think he would have taken the disrespect.
No.
I don't know. Maybe he just, But at any rate, they get into a fight, and now it's time for them to be disciplined because they both, Sisko and the number 1 Omotech or whatever his name is, had ordered them not to fight. So he's like, all right, you need to discipline your people. And he's like, I'm going to discipline mine now. And
he just snaps his neck.
Right.
And the other guy knows what's going to happen. He just takes it.
Yeah, he just stands there and takes it. And they're like, whoa, bro, what?
He's kind of looking for it. He's like, I'm 40 years from getting pension anyway. I'm never going to make it. I'm a 26-year-old Jem'Hadar.
Yeah, so he snaps his neck, and then he's like, Worf, you're confined to quarters when you're not on duty. And this guy's
wait, no, the
"Say what?"
Jem'Hadar says to him, is go ahead and kill him.
Yeah.
And Worf and they all kind of look at each other, and Sisko does that
Captain.
he switches into his other acting mode. Sisko has 2 modes: overly intense and serenely calm with his hypnotic voice. And he goes to the hypnotic voice. He's like, Mr. Worf, you're confined to quarters when not on duty.
Yeah, right. He's like, that's your discipline? What?
So as someone who was not able to watch this episode, I don't understand the mindset behind killing off someone just because they disobeyed an order.
It's to enforce ironclad discipline is why.
This is what I can explain.
But then you dwindle your fighting force. You are literally shooting yourself in the foot as far as having a fighting force.
You can replace one soldier. You can replace one soldier with multiple in 3 days.
Yeah, exactly. That's their mindset.
Right.
Yeah.
That and also remember they're absolutists. So this guy, he pushed for it twice because he was the optimal guy. He was this guy's first sergeant, for lack of a better term, and he was waffling. And I guess in their society, it could be seen as he was making a bid to be number 1. You know what I mean? It's no, I'm not going to follow your orders. And he stared him down. It's I did disobey your orders. It's kind of seems it's the situation had just turned. So it's well, dishonored myself. If I had pulled this off and beat down this human, I could continue by attacking my commander. But this Klingon. But since I was kind of losing anyway, guess I'm just gonna have to let this guy break my neck like a bunch of celery.
Yeah. If you think of it in the terms of communism, the Chinese army during Korea, they just sent waves and waves and waves of people without a care of people,
Right.
That's
and
pretty much the same thing you're dealing with here.
Right. But they would yeet their own people if they showed cowardice and running away. But I feel this is still different though.
You know what? It was dumb. Honestly, this was a weakness in the episode. Like your agonizer pleas or punching you in the face was more expedient because their force level was so low at this point. This would be a like beat him within like inches of medical technology's ability to get him on his feet tomorrow to fight and be like if we were not on this mission, I would end you now. You reduce 2 steps in rank, go
Yeah,
back to your station.
that's the thing here. There's a limited number of them, and they're on a mission, so they
Right.
can't. It's not like there's a large number of them that they can just.
So he asked,
And
Safely.
that's what I mean by like this
Okay.
right now. They have a specific purpose and they have a limited number of resources. Why are they intentionally getting rid of the limited number of resources they currently have? Because they can't go grab another Jem'Hadar right now.
Right.
it's to explain how radical their culture is when it comes to this kind of stuff. And so he asks, "Why didn't you kill, Worf?" And he's like, "Well, that's just not how we roll." And he's like, "How could you kill this guy? It was so merciless." And he's like, "He was my number two. He served with me for 3 years. I really relied on him, and he was a great warrior. But it's what I had to do to get the mission done." In his head, right? To maintain discipline. This is what he had to do. These are the rules. This is the punishment for breaking a rule. So I have to follow through with it to the letter. And there's no wiggle room for him, morally or operationally or anything. So this is where it's showing the audience that's how tough the Jem'Hadar are, how single-minded they are, and to make them even more of like an existential threat. Like they won't stop, like the Terminator or whatever. Um, it's kind of what they're trying to go for here, I think. With this,
I'd also throw in maybe a little bit of world building philosophy of the Jem'Hadar, as even at that small of a number, one squeaky wheel is one too many, and like
Right.
we're just going to be the best barrel of apples, even if it's a small barrel. It'll be
Right.
a perfect barrel, and it'll
Right.
fight better that way.
I
Like maybe
mean,
that's
but
their
when you
We'll
have
make up for the
they're
lost
not
one
they're,
by fighting harder.
yeah,
they
but
get
like
their
when you
tactics
have
from the Vorta. They just want to
some
be set loose
ideologies
to
don't
destroy.
make sense.
okay,
Yeah, these guys are space ISIS.
Yeah,
but even then, like they keep track of their resources. Like they don't that's the thing. Like even
them, it
if
was
you
still a
don't
net
choose, well, even if you don't like look at life as having like innate value, like most of the other people on the ship, like the human life is a resource. What that's like throwing away perfectly good food when you're about to go to a place for months on end and you don't know if you have enough food. Like that's how I view it as. Like that's where I'm having the disconnect.
Well, right. That's why they wrote it like this, so that you, as a person with common sense, would be so shocked by it. They're like, "What are they doing?" To really show the difference between the two species.
Right. And when his attitude slipped, he became the equivalent to them of a guy who'd stepped on a mine and lost part of his leg and couldn't try. They couldn't drag him along with his bad attitude and get their mission done too.
Right, right.
They're
Okay,
really
I get that.
linear. They're extremely linearly thinking. Like if the Vorta had been around, he could have been like, and he chose not to say anything because I think he was there. But if the Vorta had decided to, he could have been like, spare him. He can be punished later. You're reduced 2 steps in rank, return to your station. I
Right,
mean, it
right.
worked for the Romulans. I don't get it,
Yeah,
but
yeah, exactly. And so that also throughout the episode, we're thought to question the Vorta's loyalty. Like, are they going to turn on the crew? Are they going to rebel with the other guys? And this is to kind of, show that extreme. And the core message that this episode is teaching you about the Jem'Hadar is their adherence to to the to rigid discipline, their loyalty, and their ability to fight and their willingness to fight. Because there'll be a speech coming up later that's real important about their mindset of how they view combat, life, etc. And this is, I guess, an important part of building that whole like mythology about them.
I got you.
He also kind of threatens Sisko. He'll kill him because that's their culture too.
Oh, right. He said, when this is all over, then
Yeah.
I'll kill you. And he's like, or something like that.
Okay.
Yeah, like we're going to be enemies.
Yeah, this is at the point where I plant some kind of device in this guy's quarters, so when it's over, it releases some sort of toxic gas in his room. Like, I'm not. He just threatened to take me out and use a Jem'Hadar. I'm gonna have like a backup plan, like Worf, when this mission's over, just to like whack that guy.
That's one thing that you don't see a lot of latitude in. You can see it some in certain species and whatever, but like for most parts, the Klingons don't use poison, right? Or assassins. Now the Duras family will.
Right, and then I might just call him out after. But I'm saying if I'm Sisko, it was Sisko.
Oh, no. That's
threatened
what I'm
to be
saying.
killed.
Humans in this universe are more, I think, diverse than a lot of other species are, as far as like what they're thinking. Like the Bajorans aren't going to be. They're not known for their warlike ability, right? They're more peaceful and they can fight, but that's not their thing.
But Jorans are known for their complaining about the ingratitude towards the Cardassians, who, in my opinion, did nothing wrong. The Bajorans didn't recognize the value of the dilithium crystals beneath their feet until the Cardassian overlord showed them they lacked no purpose, and we know Kira's mother was never happier than she was with Gul Dukat, because he said so.
Exactly.
Right. But
So
but
here
as
we
far
have.
as humans go, if you look at their history, they're so warlike, almost like the Klingons to a point, at one point in the history of the humans. And the Klingons have always been warlike. They've never been peaceful at any point. They've always been the same. Same with the Bajorans. They've always kind of been the same. The Cardassians have kind of always been the same. The Vulcans used to be warlike, and then they went logical. But in all of the different species, the humans are the most broad spectrum diverse, which is why you could have one human be super loyal and upstanding and forthright, almost like a Jem'Hadar, and the other one be the most backstabbing, weaselly, going to put poison or an explosive device in your quarters for after the mission kind of person to handle their business. So I think
Hey, you know what? If I have to go with other means or subterfuge to take out some psychopathic homicidal druggie who's just made a death oath against me, anybody who wants to complain about it can squeegee his remains off the wall of the cabin before they give it to the next guy, because I don't care about your, takes on my leadership. Not you personally. I'm just saying, like, this guy has just threatened to kill me, and he's just some druggy, crazy Jem'Hadar who his own Vorta would kill. So, like, I'm just ready to gun him if I'm Sisko. I'm being honest. I'm ready to gun him. I'm not taking any shit from these. I'm sorry. Oh, God. I'm not taking anything from these lizard men. I'm sorry. I'm not taking anything from these lizard men who are coming on my ship. Let me turn the camera. I can use my hands. Listen. I'm not taking anything from these freaking lizard men who come on my ship and they think they can tell me what to do. I'm going to say, like, it's like, you'd better get me before I get you, Jem'Hadar loser. And then I'm like, Worf, the first honorable moment. You go ahead and do what you have to do.
See, I'd be one of those, like, if you. It's more of that petty, passive aggressive, like, you asked us for help. Like, you asked us.
Yeah. You asked us for help. We can put you out the airlock and take care of this ourselves. I mean,
right? Like, you asked us for help. Why are you threatening me when you've asked me for help? You've just lowered yourself anyway. Why don't I just do what you just did to your buddy there and, like, yeet you out the airlock right now, because you're weak right now.
All you would need
using their own logic against them
is just a transporter protocol, and be like, I need to see you in my office, and then you're sitting behind your desk, and then he starts giving you lip, and you just push a button under your desk, and it transports him out into space.
But exactly, yet, right? Like, I left your ketamine in the airlock. Go grab it.
Yeah.
Bye, guys.
Right? Like, that's like, you gonna threaten me when you asked me for help on my ship with my things and my stuff? I don't have to help you.
Could you imagine
the
when Alex?
Scream?
Can you imagine when Alex Kurtzman gets his hands on this? It's like, So they get club drugs, and what I'm thinking is to keep control, they make a disco on the bridge, and it's fun with show tunes.
But it only works if they have an overweight cadet that's on the ship for some reason that can
She's
beat
got to click her
everybody.
heels together 3 times and
That can
say
beat
there's
everybody
nothing like diversity.
In a 1.5 mile run, even though she stops halfway through to have a monologue with somebody.
And eat something.
Yeah, I mean, we need enough of that. I really do think that with the closure of the Paramount sale gives all the Star Trek fans cause for hope. And I just, just for a moment
Hope
here,
is a
among us,
dangerous thing.
you know, yeah, you know what? Isn't that a line from Last Jedi? Let's just move on from that one and just say this. We now have the people who've done this, but not this. This show's great, but the mess that's been made since 2009, our 16 years of suffering, maybe, could possibly be relieved. I do not see anybody giving J.J. Abrams a job. The Ellisons are not some entertainment people who might be easily fooled. They're American defense contractors. They make drones. They make things that are deadly. They're not going to be deadly towards the people in Hollywood, but they're not going to play games or be playing by the rules of some other corporation. They're defense contractors. Oracle is a huge computing thing, and I think that the chances are good that we could see some restored Star Trek in as little as 3 or 4 years if they stop the Kurtzman continuity now, which is why he's trying to kick it to 2027. But we digress.
Right.
I'm sorry.
I just need to wipe
That's
the
all right.
slate clean, get all new people, and start over.
Yep.
Anyway,
You
so
might even be able to do a
what do you
limited
hear?
rescue operation with an interdimensional story, like the 3 people that we like the Doug Jones character, like just suck him through like a wormhole and have him just fall out in the deck in Deep Space Nine before O'Brien downloads their whole continuity onto a USB stick and phases it.
There you go. There you go.
Quark, I told you not to run the Cardassian prawn on the hollow suites.
It's so crap. He pulls it out, throws it on the floor, and just phasers it.
Yeah, phases it all puts it on a hard drive, throws it on the floor. It's like, no more buying Cardassian prawn programs for the hollow suites, Quark. It's bad enough that you almost took out comms last week. It's like, but O'Brien, people will pay money. He's like, Quark. And it's like, wait, who are you? And it's like, my name is Saru. And it's like, you seem okay. You can stay, but let's check this guy out first. That's the one character out of everything they did that might be usable somewhere else. He had a little Star Trekkiness to him by mistake.
Okay,
I have an Academy Award. He was pretty good.
In this scene, Wei-Yun is trying to talk to Odo because he's all always enamored by him, and he's like, Odo, I want to talk to you. And this is where he basically tells Odo that the founders at the Great Link want you to come home. Would you be willing to come home? And he's like, nah, I'm not ready yet. But this sets the scene for the final episode of the season.
Yeah.
But this is him telling him, hey, they're not that real angry with you. They want you to come back. They want you to rejoin the Link, the Great Link. And he's like, okay, but you need to piss off. So if I tell you to leave me alone,
Now,
will you? And he's like,
help
yeah,
me out. Oh, yeah, no, okay, so the slideshow orients me. Later on, he's going to take this to the point where he's going to turn into Rocky Road ice cream, but that's later.
Right.
Oh, yeah, well, yeah, they use him to infiltrate the place, which doesn't make any sense to me. Well, I don't know. The other rebel guys might not care that it's a founder, so I guess that's how far gone they are. And who knows?
A tactical thought on that is how do I know the same freaking shapeshifter comes out when they're shapeshifters and they're going to share communal thoughts? So any blob of protoplasm could come out and say, "Hey, I'm your buddy Odo," and it would remember everything he knows because they have group consciousness in the Link. It's like I would just be like, "Nah, Odo, I love you and all, but maybe you can never go home again, bro."
Right. Look at this. This is Dax giving O'Brien the Kurtzman trek.
Yeah. There you go.
Down
Hey, what's this? Oh, it's the Kurtzman trek. Oh, okay.
No, God, yeah, destroy it right now.
Yeah,
and for
Start
those
it
who've
with
ever,
fire.
if you've ever looked longingly at Terry Farrell, it's time for us to just remember she was engaged to Mickey Rourke in the 80s for like 3 years. So she's done things just on an airplane alone that most of us can only dream of. So she's had a lot of fun.
All I know is she's.
I know how to fix it. I mean, if we're going with the J.J. Abrams, timeline, and that's
No,
where all this stuff is from,
I'd rather not.
just those people come out through the wormhole, and then they mess up with the red stuff, and it just sucks them into another wormhole, and that's it.
Yep.
Bye.
Yeah, that would have been the best outcome of those.
Best
movies.
thing to do is ignore it completely. Go
Yes,
just past
exactly.
the end of the last Next Generation movie. Establish the star date very, very, very clearly. Talk about Captain Picard being out there, retired with Uramotic syndrome, and how the Romulan homeworld is still just there, and you'll have then differentiated yourself enough. No one will ask anything else. We'll just be happy it's different people. We'll be so happy that you don't have to answer anything ever. Just keep on making sense and never address it, and that's good enough for me.
Right.
Yeah.
It's kind of how I feel about in Star Wars. They introduced the concept of the world between worlds, and like you can use that
really,
to.
Though. I dispute that that's what that was. I do not think that they are going to peel off the money to pay the writer for it, and I think it will be something called like the space between spaces, and it will be just like copyright infringing garbage. But yes, they've been to magical plot device land.
Well, like in Rebels, like how Ezra pulled Ahsoka in that whatever space, and in the series Ahsoka, they did it again where she saw Anakin there. I still hope and wish.
Wrong star.
I still wish
That's
they would use it to get rid of.
We're talking about the other star.
I know, but I was saying as an example, I wish that they would do the same thing in Star Wars that you guys are wanting in Star Trek. Let me finish my thought.
Yeah, there's a lot of things that I wish they could go back and just be like, hey, this never happened. A lot of shows. So
that's what it is.
I can't remember what's
on. That's his goodbye message to.
Oh, right, to
Keiko.
Keiko. He records one every time he's getting ready to go on a dangerous mission, and then she's like, "Well,
it's like his fifth one or something,
right? Everything will go fine, right?" And
11th. Like, it's his
11th
goodbye message.
Everything will go fine, is what she tells him, and then he's like, well, just in case, and she's like, all right, I'll put it in here with my goodbye message to my mother, which means that she does them too, even though she just told him how like you don't always got to do them and stuff, and it like puts a lot of pressure.
And then everybody does it. Everybody just does it.
I got the impression the one to the mom was a static one that he wrote many years ago, and the one to Keiko is new every time. And I also, because like the child is growing, the situation is ever changing, whereas like the things you say to your mom would remain relatively static when
also,
you're 50, like O'Brien.
Is it Jadzia's mom or Dax's mom?
Well, Dax's mom. I don't know. Would they be alive?
The Dax symbiote. Not Dax. The Jadzia's mom. Jadzia's mom.
Okay.
Yeah.
Jadzia still has her own personality in there. She's not gone.
Right.
She's joined. It's symbiosis. It's not parasitic.
We don't got time to get into it, but I was just wondering if the symbiotes actually, you know what I mean, like have mothers and fathers and stuff.
I think if you're a super trill, your symbiont gland grows to the point that it's harvestable and transplantable. I'm thinking Stephen Hawking would have all of a sudden they'd be like, you know what, his trill gland probably activated when he got really smart. So even though he can't walk, we could probably get the symbiont into him. And like right now, like we'd be like somebody like some Olympian would be walking around with like Stephen Hawking's like symbiont in him.
That's weird.
That would be the best idea, right?
Oh my. So the Worf is like, I heard that the Jem'Hadar one threatened to kill you. He's like, if he does succeed in killing you, he will not live long to boast about it.
Yep. And then this that guy that was next to him with the slate, that guy actually had like a 3-line speaking part.
Oh, he did? What,
yeah. I can't remember. He just said, hey, like the engines are ready or something.
But by the way, I would have appreciated more of having more of a Federation related response.
Yeah, it's like technical mumbo jumbo. Yeah.
But
Yeah.
no,
Yep, it's working. It is working.
Yeah.
And then we get a message saying we're approaching the planet, sir.
Right. Because he was just like, hey, Worf, what are you doing in here? You're supposed to be off duty. And he's like, I just wanted to talk to you real quick about, what that guy said or whatever.
Now,
And then,
are these guys supposed to be some kind of like a weird stand-in for outcells, as we could call them for a moment?
you're talking about the Jem'Hadar?
Yeah, well, they're not. They're the reverse of outcells. Let's just put it to you that way. You know what I mean. I don't want to say the word, but like all male, all violent, all kooky. I don't know. Is this some kind of weird
You're reading
Columbine?
That wasn't even a thought back when this was written.
It's post Columbine.
Yeah, but that wasn't even consideration. That hadn't permeated the cultural zeitgeist that won't happen for another 10 years.
You might be right.
Because Columbine was like, everyone was just like, it's a one-off. You know what I mean? Everybody knew the weird kid. It wasn't until you stack like 10 or 12 of those up on top of each other with all kinds of other stuff happening. And also the invention of like the smartphone and a bunch of other things before any of that becomes even remotely mainstream.
Fair enough.
They'd put it in a TV show. I mean, it was the concept out there probably, but not to the point where they would write it into here. Especially, what is this, 90? They wrote this in like 95. The show was made in 95, 96. So, yeah.
Like I like this part. They're like passing out the weapons. They have a stun setting on these weapons.
Yeah, and he's like, all right, reset them to max power.
Max power.
Also, they were like, hey, these are loaded. It's because when they were training, they were, no power.
Yeah, they're fully charged.
Okay, this is post training. I was surprised their lack of familiarity, where they were just like, like they're just mentioning it now. This was a little bit jumbly with the dialogue, but yeah, they got their point across.
Right.
Yeah.
So they set them to max power and all that. I
Who's
guess
a great Simpsons character.
Yeah, I guess if you're storing them in there, you'd keep them on the stun setting. I guess I don't know. Anyway. But obviously they knew how to use them because they were able to change them. And then, okay, so this is where the number one Omotech or whatever gives the speech. He says, from this point on, you're all dead. And he's like, we get our lives back by victory. And then they say, victory is life. So this is where you get to see their mentality. They go into combat already dead. So there's no fear. And there's no, like, hesitation or anything, which is what makes them, effectively brutal warriors. Whereas humans, obviously, so they leave, and then Miles O'Brien says, "I'm Miles O'Brien," because he's like, "I'm Oltec, number one of the fort or whatever," and then he says, "You're all dead. Victory is life." Then this is where Miles says, "I'm Miles O'Brien," and he says something like, "I want everybody to live," or something like that. Basically, and then he leads them out. So this is the
Star Trek William Wallace moment there.
Right. This is their structure. And when they get out here, they go to take these guys out, and then the guns don't work. And they're like, what? They're like, oh, yeah, the Iconian gate must be interfering with that. And it's like, wait, you guys couldn't have figured that out from space with a scan? You know what I mean?
Oh, well.
Like, or, I don't know, Worf was on the other planet. I don't know. Maybe the gate didn't work the same or something. But if I recall, in that one, their weapons didn't work either, right?
I think so.
I think the deal is the weapons wouldn't have mattered. It was a technical problem where Picard and Data are messing around. So,
yeah.
I mean, I don't even think weapons come into it. You might be like, here's the thing: we go to the same set with similar sets of circumstances in the last Arsenal. Is that what it's called? Arsenal of Freedom. So, and it's also an advanced race that has done these things. So people kind of get those intertwined. But this one was really kind of slow and really kind of boring, but it was like an interesting thought in the concept. Picard, with his interest in archaeology, is able to Raiders of the Lost Ark his way through like basically the Harkonnens map room and make their Stargate like not blow up until he needed it to, as much
Right,
as I can
right.
remember, and also get enough information that Data is able to either does he keep the code within himself to crack it first and then
I
introduce
can't remember.
the fix to the Enterprise, something like that. They upload the Arconian code into Data, and then the Soong programming is able to take Data's control back, and he's like, I now have a fix. It was something like by filtering it through Data in a logical way, or maybe Data just plain old cracks it, but they were able to undo the damage because remember, we lose a ship as big as the Federation flagship to this bad code. So if their weapons didn't work on another one of the planets, like we got to check, right? Because there's that whole arc with Picard hanging out with those weird unprincipled archaeologists who travel time or whatever, and they're looking for pieces of like a super weapon, and that's got all sorts of implications too. So I don't know.
So when they figure out their guns don't work, they're like, "Hey, should we call it off?" And as soon as they say that, the cloaked Jem'Hadar pop out and attack them with melee weapons. So they were going to leave, but they didn't have a chance to do that, to like go back and figure out a new plan. So
Which
they
I kind of dig their melee weapon there.
right.
Mhm.
So they kind of get in this fight, and now my understanding would be the Jem'Hadar train and practice with these. I don't know if Starfleet security does. I mean, obviously this guy laying on the ground didn't, but hand-to-hand combat with bladed weapons is not the strong suit of the Federation.
No.
Anyway,
It's too
Well, I
barbaric.
mean,
but the plot
I
armor.
just want to point out here that when Sisko was introduced in the first episode of Deep Space Nine, he went to Gilgo Beach, which is the dumping ground of the largest serial killer in known Northeast history. So I think Cisco probably has a dark secret and also was probably there on the true crime tour. So why they had him go to Gilgo Beach is beyond me, but look up the Long Island serial killer and you'll see that I'm right. So we didn't know this at the time, but Cisco would have had to.
That's why I liked the Makos in Enterprise, is because they showed them training all the time, like commandos and stuff. This is just like Starfleet security. They're guys in jumpsuits. It'd have been cool if they would have had like tack gear on and whatever. But anyway, this is the show. So they get into all these hand-to-hand fights and somehow beat. Now, Worf pulls out this, cool Klingon dagger from somewhere. Guess he had it up his sleeve or something.
He's a Klingon, of course he did.
Yeah, and he's killing dudes and stuff. And then the other guys pick up weapons, and they're doing like the whole double-handed fist attack over the head, hit them on the back and stuff. Your regular karate.
They do show like training in the holodeck with the phasers occasionally.
They do,
but they never show like
no one is
picking
using
up
like,
a weapon and
no one's using kung
any of that.
fu or judo or anything.
Except Worf in DS9. They do
Well,
show Worf
we've been at war for a while now. Everybody's pretty salty. They've had the best kind of practice. Actually, having to get through combat without respawning to go on to the next engagement.
Right.
They've made it this far without having to respawn. Remember,
so they fight their way in, and obviously the Jem'Hadar are carrying that are with them are carrying the bulk of the combat load. And they fight their way in, and there's more and more guys in here.
Sisko is as deadly as any Jem'Hadar, though.
Right. Yeah. Well, I mean, he's Sisko.
He also clubs down a few Jem'Hadar relatively effortlessly. He's pretty righteously angry. He was like I don't know. It was like it was like a Detroit kind of thing. He just came out of nowhere and jacked those guys.
And then Jadzia, obviously, I mean, she used to be the Klingon ambassador, and so she knows how to fight with bladed weapons, for sure. Anyway, so they get in here. This is one of the entrances to the room. They have to blow the thing up, and at one point, Sisko asks O'Brien, "Hey, is this explosive going to work?" And he's like, Well, the remote detonator is not, but we have a chemical backup. So it's basically like, you pull a little thing or something, and then after a certain amount of time, it blows up. Like an old school, like World War II bomb or something.
Right, and we had an argument earlier about how the Federation people, they'll do the whole mission and they'll fight to the end, and if they get trapped there, well, that's one thing, but the plan being them babysitting the bomb until it goes off is absolutely unacceptable to the Federation, and that's another point of contention. In
I mean,
fact,
why not? Come on, that should be fun. I mean, just hang around.
I would do it, but I mean, the thing is, these guys are just having this argument, and I believe that that's the difference of opinion that gets the number 2 Jem'Hadar killed.
Right. And then, so it turned out one of the bags they had with them was Odo. Why he wasn't leading the charge, just like beating the crap out of everybody with his multiple tentacle arms, it doesn't make any sense to me. But
Because that CGI was barely acceptable.
oh, that's true. That would
Yeah.
have been
In
costly.
Enterprise, it's incredible how much they do and how much better it is in the CGI today. In this, it's still better than most of today. It's clear, but they had a grip on their limitations. So yeah,
Yeah.
Odo's sometimes Odo just gets shy, or he wants to give people a chance to prove themselves. I mean, you didn't want to make it too easy for
Well,
them.
they didn't even have to show him like turning into jelly tentacles. He could just start knocking people around,
Just
like
turn into the
Data.
rock monster from Galaxy
Right.
Quest and just smash everybody.
Like Data. You could have, he could have had some kind of like really super cool combat subroutine. He's so strong and what he's made out of. He could literally punch his hand through people's faces.
I always wanted that
just too violent.
from
Too violent for
Julian.
Star Trek.
That's what I wanted from Julian, because he's a slight augment. Although his augment might be, is it confined to mental? He might not have
It's his
physical
mental
augmentation,
and his like hand-eye coordination is really good.
but he's not super strong.
No, he's
Okay,
not.
so
Super
he's not a
strong.
super soldier.
He's not like a Noonan Singh kind of con. He's not
Yeah,
a
super
con
dude.
levels.
I love that they let him be wide ranging in that role, but I always wish that he had, I want him to be the one who goes nuts and has a breakdown and goes murderous, because and he's the doctor, so it just doesn't fit. But with that, he has his uncle Malcolm McDowell's crazy eyes.
Yeah.
And
So
he
so
plays
there's
crazy well.
here's the Stargate with the seventh symbol here in the middle.
in the picture.
Might this also be suggested to be the Guardian of Forever? Was the same thing, right? Because it's the same name.
Yep.
It's the same name. It's another Guardian of Forever, isn't it?
Right, exactly. Well, that was a Iconian gate on that planet too.
Yeah.
In the
I
original
want to
story.
check if it's not the Arconians, because remember we played that weird game, and I don't want to commit my memory to say yes.
I thought it was Iconians.
I think it is too. There are Iconians or Ioconians, whatever you want to call it, but there's also Arconians, and they're this almost exactly the same, but they are absolutely spelled different on screen when you go with the captions, and in secondary sources there are two different groups, but they're almost precisely the same.
Yeah.
Both may have had Stargates, but this definitely seems to be something related to or like the Guardian of Forever. But I would point out that the actual Stargate from Stargate is a lot like the Guardian of Forever.
So
Well,
they
except
set the bomb.
the ones from the Guardians of Forever took you to the 60s, wherever you went.
Oh yeah.
You can program the Stargate a little more, and yeah, it has a few bandwidths that you can't go to. But yes,
Yep. So they get the bomb set. Does it go off here? Can't remember. Thought it went off. So she's like, if I were you, I'd get out of here really fast. I think it does show it blow up, doesn't it?
I thought it did. Like it might just shake the ground or something. They're like, hey, and he's just like, hey, this wounded guy, get out of here. Sack of potatoes. Oh yeah, there
it was.
Yeah.
There's
now-
little shaky cam. They're like wondering, "Woo, where's that light coming from?"
Yeah. And then so now they're like, okay, what's gonna happen here? And everyone's like, and they're like, hey, our weapons work again. And so now they're like, oh crap.
And here's where you
and he beams in with the security guy, and he's like, "Oh, hey everybody, I brought party favors. You set this down."
Yeah.
Yes, let me put down these Bud Lights. No, everyone's going to be happy to see them, I'm sure.
So he's like, "I'm so glad we could work together."
And
And
he's like, I would like to inspect the wreckage. And
Yeah.
then the number one guy's like, no dice.
Rise.
You're gone.
And he's like, "Why'd you do that?" And he's like, "I can't remember why he said he did it."
For questioning our loyalty.
Oh, that's right, for questioning our loyalty. And because again, that's all what it's about. And he's like, "I'm going to stay here and like weed out the rest of the traitors."
As I looked in his eyes, all I could think of is this Bortus?
It's borders. Do
Is
you
it
like
Bortus?
eggs? How big are the eggs? I don't know.
Do you like to smoke cigarettes?
That's not the same actor, is it?
No.
I don't know. I just know that.
now that you
His
know,
name?
I just know that I think Cassidy
he was-
from
I never watched
Deep
this
Space
show. He
Nine
was-
is the daughter of Claire from the Orville because it looks like her
He
but
was
younger.
in the Mod Squad.
Oh, it's Link from the Mod Squad.
I think so.
This
Okay.
actor? Okay.
Yeah.
So the thing that disoriented me was I think the actress who plays Sisko's girlfriend in this is like the daughter of the doctor from the Orville. It looks just like her but younger.
Oh yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Sure does. So then they're like,
It's the same actress, guys. I'm just fucking around.
"Oh, sorry, I didn't know." I haven't.
Yeah,
I've
no,
only-
Seth
I've-
MacFarlane grabbed up as many Star Trek people as he could.
Yeah.
Claire from the Orville is Cassidy.
Yep.
she
Oh, that's
aged.
right. Shoot.
I figured someone else would
realized
get it, so I just try to like the ironic humor. But you know, like, let's just say the best jokes are the ones that have to be explained, right, guys?
So these
only
these
half
guys
paying
go.
attention.
There's still a bunch of
Trying.
rogue Jem'Hadar out there, and they're like, "We got to go take care of the rogues."
They all turn invisible and
It's like,
run off like the predator.
yeah.
Pew 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 pew.
If only they lived longer, they would be more of a threat.
Right. It's like bugs.
You know what? Seriously, you're right. Like, where is the Jem'Hadar wisdom coming from? You know, where's your tactical brilliance? I mean, is the thing here? It's like just like the soldiers of Joseph Kony, so to speak. By like 12 or 13, they had like old hands at it.
I think
Well,
they.
it's just wave after wave. You know, that's their logic. They
I also think that they
send
have
more and more, and keep coming at you.
they have like genetic memory too, which is also
Yeah.
why they're already imprinted with
Ooh.
the loyalty to the founders, like a changeling. They can't harm one and stuff. It's
Shield,
built
you
in.
mentioned how you like Enterprise. I just watched Similitude, where they tried to pretend that if you make a clone, it will slowly remember everything. Like it will just become you. It was like an invasion of the Body Snatchers clone in Similitude. Boy, did they screw that story up.
I didn't say it was a perfect show. I mean, it did have the
No, I love it.
guys from the Zindi or whatever.
I
So
love Enterprise.
Miles is like, I want to get out of here.
Yeah,
Reminds me of
right.
the
I'd be
good
the
old
same way.
days.
I'd be like, let's go. I just want to go. Let's go home.
Feels good to have me old phase rifle in my hand, Captain. Reminds me of the good old days in the Federation military.
Where I collected the neck bones of the Cardassians.
Let me show you this necklace of Cardassian ears I've got.
Technical difficulty.
Tell me about it.
Lock up or something.
Like that episode of Deep Space Nine where Keiko finds Miles' war diary. Women and children, Miles, and air raid, Miles. Oh, Miles. And everybody out there in the chat, thank you so much. Remember to watch the browser tab open for a little while. Strengthen Jacob's analytic. He's one of the most criminally undersubbed and underwatched people on YouTube. I retweet everything he does. I think he's great, and I think that he's having a great Star Trek conversation all the time. And thank you for bringing me on to this.
Appreciate that.
I love everybody who does Star Trek unless they do it at the same time
So-
as I do it.
They're like, let's bug out. So they leave, and that is the end of episode 1. And episode 2 doesn't have as much, so we should be able to bounce through that pretty quick.
Episode 2 is fairly simple. We're going to
Yeah.
turn Odo. If you're one of those people who throws ice cream into the microwave, you're going to love what Odo starts turning into through the middle of this. Boy, all I can think about is how much I love the Rolling Stones, and like Odo is like sort of Keith Richards in this one, just melting. It's like, just give me, could you get me some more blood, or perhaps just a little bit.
Yeah,
of
I don't know
mild
what they
smack there, Keith.
put on him. It looks like a mixture of clay and KY. I don't know.
Yeah, they definitely they slicked him down with some KY like the alien, and then like he has like I guess what we would call lesions, since his clothing is an affectation of his
Right.
founder body anyway. So he
It
has
looks like they put like kelp all over him or something.
Yeah.
They put, but I think what they also did was they took like a heat gun, like like not a hairdryer, but like a heat gun, and melted some plastic into like a weird lump that matched the color of his uniform,
Right.
and they put that here. He has like these lesions of nonconformity on his body where he's like unable to truly hold his shape, and they're trying to imitate what would be, I guess, low resolution for a founder.
Yeah. So Garak likes to mess with people, especially Odo. He's like,
He's highly likely to get a cameo
like,
bought
"Hey,
from him
look."
to introduce my show.
he introduces this lady to him.
Yeah, this chick was hot, by the way. I appreciated when Star Trek used to have a very attractive cast, and it stands in contrast to the cast of today now, doesn't it?
Yep.
Yeah. Well, she doesn't represent diversity, and you don't want to make the audience feel
I
bad.
can
for
think
having
of a
a
diverse
attractive
bunch of things I could do with this woman who has reddish hair, even though she's blonde. She seems to be a strawberry blonde with blue eyes, which means she is the most smallest minority on the face of the earth.
Does that mean she has good genes? I'm just
I
saying.
mean, she's part of the smallest group on Earth, right? Red hair and blue eyes.
Yeah.
She's the biggest. She's the number one smallest minority.
So he's like,
There's more one-legged midgets.
if you call me in here again and it's not a crime, he's like, a crime just was committed right here. You let her walk away without getting a date.
Yeah, I like how like this weird former secret agent has this desire to be a matchmaker for his arch rival, and then here we see like a little bit of early CGI, or is it stop motion where we just put a little more of the prosthetic on him over and over? Maybe this is done like a werewolf transformation. I couldn't tell.
Well, he has convulsions here. He's like, oh.
But he also kind of goes through the stages of like, he phases out and then like reconstitutes a bit. Like it like gets bad, and then it gets it back together a little more. He's never this bad. He doesn't get this bad again for a while. See how he returns to normal? That was a cool effect too.
Yeah, it was. But he's supposedly unconscious here, so shouldn't he go back to liquid? Too?
That would make the most sense. That was my understanding. There's been a couple of times I've like, is he supposed to? Why is he not like? Blah, 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 blah.
By the way, if you get the product Gugon, it helps fight changelings. So.
That's right. Like if you pull out a can of Goof Off, Odo's gonna start backing away. It's like, what? Where did you get that?
Goof off. I haven't heard of that stuff in years.
It's like to get like stubborn, like sticky, like stickers off of like the glue from the It's like, get back, changeling.
So he's like, don't know what's wrong with him. Could be an illness. Could be a bug. Could do some checking. And you got to stay right here. Which Odo does not like. He does not like it.
I love Julian. He's one of my favorite characters on this show, original to the show at least, and I love what he's up to, and I love his love of frontier medicine and his optimism. He's such a great Star Trek character. He really captures the spirit of what Gene wanted,
Mm-hmm.
but I don't understand his qualifications to treat Odo. But I'm missing some Deep Space Nine knowledge. So unless he's been refreshing and jumping into this over and over, this seems like there should be someone who's a little more able to help out with like some sort of advisor, someone from some planet who knows one or two things about the founders. You could maybe do this, Julian. You could maybe do that because
I think
Well,
he has, because
occasionally-
he's stationed here with him.
we got that guy down
Yeah,
on
he's the
Bajor
closest,
who ran the
but-
experiment is the
yeah.
only guy we can talk
Which he
to.
even says it in this episode. Like, I've talked to what's his name to get some pointers, and so I just
Right.
think it's because of proximity. They're all right there, and
Right. He
Easy
sees
to-
him on the daily, so he can scan him like all the time.
plus he's augment. So
Right. And he has access to all there's no like secret government research on Odo. It's all, he has it all.
Once again, by the way, Motherhood is beautiful. Nana Visitor looked great there. So did Terry.
yep.
And there
So we
he
get
is.
some exposition
It's
here.
Galron.
I want to admit something. When I first watched the show, I was really not that into Nana Visitor. I was like, she's all right. But now that I'm older, yeah.
Yeah.
The outfit wasn't
I like both
overly
of them.
flattering. You had to look twice, and she's standing next to Jadzia, who's just a real knockout. So it's just like she's the sleeper. It's the
No.
Hoshi
Now
to
that I
Paul
just-
kind of thing,
Wow.
right?
You just look at her eyes and everything, and she still looks great now. Actually, both of them do.
Bashir was totally taken with her. He marries her for a little while.
Yeah. Yep.
So we get Gowron there talking about the Arcanus 4 sector. There's hours, and you must leave, or you'll be fired upon.
And I was like, this is the Galron we've come to know and love. Total maniac, ready to do anything crazy you want. But now's the time to give him the appeal to reason, and they don't do that. And I guess we
By
pay
the way,
that off later.
the way he got his role is he just out of the blue opened his eyes real big, and they're like, "Hey, we want that guy." But you got to open your eyes big all the time.
What if Gowron reminds me of? With
it's
like,
all in
big
his eyes. He's great.
And the hair
Yes.
like that is like a British garage band from like the
Exactly.
early 90s.
A punk rock
Oh yeah.
You know, punk rock,
90s
where he looks
band,
just like that.
punk rock.
He's got
As,
the,
band.
as opposed to Star Trek V, where the Klingons look like backup dancers for Cher.
right, exactly. Yeah, he looks like a proper Klingon.
Untamed Mando, you have absolutely no clue what's going on. Your observations.
Pretty.
Well,
I'm just absorbing all of it right now, so I don't have quite anything just yet. I will speak up when I have an observation.
like Ghosty says, hit that like button. Do it.
Exactly.
Do it.
Do it. You should do that. You should. If you're not following this channel, you should. And if you're a Redditor, you should post it on the Reddit, most likely to react well to it.
Also, I'm reading the Wikipedia page, so I can kind of like
That's a good
get
idea.
something.
Yeah.
Every time I watch a Star Trek episode, I go back to Wikipedia and fill the episode description with inaccuracies to force people to have to come to me for the truth.
I love just one little thing. They kind of go into what's wrong with Odo and stuff, and Worf is like, he would not like you coming and visiting him. He doesn't like that sort of thing. And Jadzia is, are you sure? And I was there when he told me. And he says to Sisko, was the last host always this argumentative? And Sisko's like, no, worse.
Yeah,
I thought that was kind of funny.
I guess it was another woman before this.
It was a dude.
Yeah, you just wanted to make you just try to be funny, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, the last
That's a great moment for that. I'm sorry. You know what? This happens when we do this. Like sometimes you just catch people at the right moment. That was a hilarious, just between expressions
It was.
moment. We love Nana Visitor. We think she's great, but that was a hilarious between expressions moment. If we could, that's got thumb. That should be there's your thumbnail, bro.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah. By the way, her species, they sneeze a lot when they're pregnant. Apparently.
So do humans.
Yeah. So back to Odo. She's like, "Here you go, Odo. Here's some crime reports," which is
Yeah,
something to show him so he'll get up and leave the med bay.
you know what? Can I just be honest here? The show SVU would have saved him all this problems. It's like instead of having anyone go cheer him up, it's just be like, we are feeding a non-stop feed of the show SVU to your
Exactly.
bedside computer. These are all messed up crimes that you wish you could have investigated. You might even see some people we've seen around here.
So he's like, "Oh, so that's going on." So he goes and confronts the bad people. This lady,
Her
balding a
outfit
little bit,
reminds me of Spider Gwen.
or Star Fury, or maybe. But she's got some eyebrows.
Are you sure those are eyebrows? Those are about horns, in my opinion.
So he has another attack.
Right, and he turns into jelly on the floor.
And they're like, "Let's get out of here."
Blah, 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 blah.
And here we go. We got Odo
Covered in that slime or whatever.
goop. See if we get a shot of this. Which is a neat effect. They did a really good job in making it look like he's actually phasing a little bit.
Yeah, there's some. I think some of it might be melted fiberglass and plastic just heated up
probably.
together. That's what I think was when I say they took some
I mean-
stuff that was the right color and hit with a heat gun. This is
Also,
what I
the
meant.
material he's wearing is probably would melt. So they could have just taken it to that and melted it.
Well, he's not wearing anything, right?
Yeah, I know.
He's affecting his clothes,
Yeah.
so he's trying to hold his shape as he knows it. I guess pattern familiarity makes this shape easier. You'd figure it's like, you know what, Captain, I'm just going to revert to a resolved Rubik's Cube until this is over. It's just conserve energy. But he doesn't do that.
No, he's acting. We gotta have the actor on screen. Just cover
And
him
to
with
be
a sheet.
fair,
It'll
it's
be fine.
To be fair, he has a really good performance, but I didn't like their visualization of melting. I never dug the visualization of melting Founder.
I
But
always
it's
thought
fine.
it looked
It's
like
fine.
clay. Even when they have it where it's like flaking off, it looks like dried clay.
This would have been a great visual effect today if we had a good Star Trek written by good people using effects right instead of being idiots about it like we
Yeah.
do.
Fix it in post.
To write it after it's over, Star Trek like today.
So they kind of resolved that there's only one thing to do, and it's go to the founders, see
Yep.
what they can do.
Very quick here, I just want to say this is one of the reasons I had a problem with Sisko is that he has such a cushy chair. He has the most cushy chair of any captain, and it's just like he's not afraid to just sit there and lounge in it. Like most other captains seem, except for Kirk, who owns that chair. Most other captains seem to try to stay out of the chair, and Picard's is so different. It's like a dais with other people. It's very much like BSG. But everyone else is like Janeway and Archer try to walk around the chair and stay out of it. When he's in ops, he has no chair. I feel like when he's on the Defiant, like he just can't wait to jump in that chair and be like, I need to establish that I'm a captain. I need to have them call me captain while I'm on. Because the captain for Sisko is a job, right? On the station, he's still Commander Sisko, right? It changes situationally. They're sticking with that, right?
Yeah.
And that makes sense, and that is logical to our real world military because he ranks higher than the job that captain requires, but on the Defiant, he is the captain.
Because that is the highest ranking officer available for that vessel.
That's right. They
So-
get you get captain is a job and a role as well, so they go with the Richie Valens rule. He is not a sailor; he is the captain.
Yeah. So Garak weasels his way on board. He wants to talk to the founders and see if there's any survivors of the Romulan Cardassian fleet that got destroyed. So he's there. But Sisko's like, you need to keep. I want you to keep Odo company because we're too nice. You'll make up stories and be mean to him and all these things.
Bring these 5 lights with you to Odo's quarters.
Yeah, exactly. Tell him there's only 4. Or is it 6? Was there 6? There's only 5, but there are 6.
I can barely remember the numbers on the back of my credit card to make it function when I try to buy things. I have no idea how many lights there are. I think that there were 5. No, there were 6. There was a row of 4 and 2 underneath, I think. Or there might have been 3 on top and 2 underneath. I'm pretty sure there was 2 underneath.
Yeah, so he's like, I'll make a bald-faced lies and untruths and to keep him going for days. So, and Garak's always good. He's a good character, good actor. Hello.
Yes. Agreed. I heard you.
I thought I was alone for a second.
No.
I love this guy's performances. He's always a good actor. He's able to do that tailor, spy, expat, man without a country, but like still with a sense of honor thing pretty well. I don't know if they originally based him on the character, but he drifts over into, and in the episode before this has love interest not very different from that of Rick from Casablanca. He's a little bit Rick from Casablanca, but they already gave the bar to Odo, so they made him the tailor.
Yeah. So
Quark's loving this.
Part. Yeah. But he's like, I should own this station by the time you get back.
It's like,
I really like Quark. He knows that he's going to be out, so he's going to pull every kind of unhanded thing, upload all kinds of like skimming programs on the credit exchange.
Yeah.
They could come back and find out that Commander Quark has all the Starfleet personnel seeing things his way and working for him now. Nigga Shrek is just like, well, I sign off on it. There's a fleet of Cardassian warships that'll protect you, Quark. I didn't think you had the lobes for it.
Yeah.
Inconceivable. Oh.
Inconceivable.
Yeah, that guy. His episode that he was in as the Grand Nagus was one of my favorites. At the end, they're leaving in the shuttle, and he's like, all right, let's get out of here. And he's like, but not too fast. I got this shuttle at a significant discount.
He's in 3 or 4 Star Trek episodes as other aliens and 8 or 9 Deep Space Nines. He's in a bunch of Deep Space Nines, but he plays other roles in other aliens in Star Trek and maybe voices here and there. He is really good.
So he's telling a story that he walks in and people stop talking. It's like, were they talking about me?
Probably.
His marriage is honorless. I would not let that woman speak. Oh, Chief.
So they're going to the Alpha Quadrant. Why do I always get mixed up on the two?
The Gamma Quadrant.
The Gamma Quadrant. Thank you. And they're not cloaked, and they're blasting out help to the founders, and what do you know? They show up in droves. And they're like totally, utterly surrounded. And they're like, they want to talk, and okay, have them meet us in the beam room, whatever it's, darn it,
Transporter room. And
they just beam right onto the bridge.
Beam me up, Scotty.
So they just want to take Odo and leave them
And I
there.
don't
Right? And they're
understand
just
why
like,
this-
no.
I don't understand why this founder looks like another human being with like features nerfed down, because like the story we got at first was only Odo was that imprecise because he modeled himself without any help from the other changelings after the guy who kept him in the bucket. He looks like the scientist who used to take care of him, or as close as he can get. So the
I
other foundlings could look
kind of think
pretty
that
accurate if they wanted.
when Odo finds the Dominion and finds the founders, that they kind of take on his look.
That was my understanding.
Yeah,
This is what we look like. The humans are familiar with us like this. He's
right.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. He's the Michael Jackson of changelings. Everyone knows who he is. Like, yeah, we'll look like him. Everybody,
I thought maybe
go
they
get your
did
skin bleached.
I can't remember. Maybe
Marty White.
I heard, but
No, they
Was
well,
that
I don't want to get too crazy because it's new Star Trek where they get really precise, but objects and stuff, Odo is ridiculously precise.
Yeah.
mhm. I thought they did it to make him feel better, like because he couldn't do it or something. I don't know.
I
No.
think that we might have had. I think at different times all of those reasons have been proffered, because in this show they were more dedicated to have a linear soap opera that made sense and keeping all their lore totally straight. There's a couple of lore things that don't really add up.
Yeah. So they're like, no, we're not going to leave him with you. We're going to go with him all the way. So they're like, okay, you can do that, but we're going to have our guy drive or control the ship, and you can't see where we're going. So he
And again,
even puts a little
hard.
thing on the control panel to
Yeah,
kind
this
of
was cool.
block it from that. That's cool.
It's what he calls, it's his radar detector. He's like, if there are anyone that's trying to attempt to stop us from speeding, this will give us a warning, sir.
It's his Roku remote.
It does look like a little bit of a Roku. It's a little larger than a Roku remote, but yes. It's like, and by the way, like Sisko, you're gonna let this homicidal drug addict fly your ship? All right. I mean, all right.
But he's a very precise, homicidal drug addict.
Yeah, every 5 hours and 58 minutes he gets the sweats and he's like goes way over it. He goes over the way and he's like, hey, you're scratching his neck. It's like, got some of that. What?
You got some of that white stuff. It was not looking too good.
The acting was good, but the makeup was a little LOL. They did their best. I appreciate their effort. They probably should have won an award for it, but whatever. And if I was a female founder, I would have a better figure. That's all. I'm just saying.
He's like, oh, poor Odo.
So I was reading up on it. One of the reasons they might look like this is it takes a lot of effort to look like a real, like, detailed human. So it's easier for them to just kind of phone it in that way.
Oh yeah, the simpler it is, the longer they can hold it. That's why I said Odo should have become a resolved Rubik's cube for a while there.
The other thing to notice about Odo is, even though he looks old because of the actor, he's compared to other changeling, he's very young. So he has
like 30 or 40 years old.
Right, but to them, they live
for 7 years.
Right. For them, they live for so long, he's more like a teenager, technically.
Yeah.
He doesn't know that, but you're right. He knows that now. He's been in the link once, right?
Yeah.
Being in the link, you probably learn faster, too.
Right. Well,
you get like hive mind consciousness for as long as you can handle processing it, because I think enough of your individuality remains. But I guess the idea is you merge with the Force, and oh God, I hate to say it, but I am all the Jedi. That just kind of happens.
Exactly.
You could just not bring up that reference and just say like bees, bees.
I prefer the
like
what happens to Aang in the Avatar.
Yeah.
Where it shows all the line of the avatars all the way back, and he's basically a descendant from them. I like that. That's pretty cool how they did that.
I heard he was descended from the scientist who worked on him was descended from a disgruntled but hilarious vice governor of a American state who hung out with a butler called Benson.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the original show he was on. But yeah,
Which
this
you have to be punished. You've killed another changeling.
right. They want to take him back and put him on trial, basically.
Jumping that right off Planet of the Apes, just counting on our understanding of that. None of these changelings have ever had a fatalistic conflict before. That Great Link must be awesome for putting everyone on the same freaking page.
Exactly.
Because no one's ever had this problem. No one ever's like, I dig that changeling chick more than you do. I love her. Like, no, nothing, no.
No, probably not.
No, because they can all be like the Borg are all one, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We
It's
are
the
the
Great Link, though.
plunders.
No, it's kind of like black tar
Resistance
heroin.
is
You're going to love it.
futile. Yeah, so he's like, what if I don't join your link? It's like, you'll just suffer and die. You have to join the link to be
Right.
healed.
To be healed. Now, did they confirm that they gave him this virus?
It's
No,
implied.
Yes. No, they said it.
we
They
already
said
know
that
who.
they
We don't know
decided to
who
call him home.
gives it to him yet.
Because I thought. Okay.
They're going to cop to
We
it,
find
but
that out.
maybe not
and
yet.
We find
I'm
out
sorry.
where he got this illness in season 5, I think, toward the end of season 5.
Sorry, I spoiled
believe.
that one.
That's okay.
But this
I mean,
this
this has
illness,
been
I
out
believe,
since
is going to
93,
become
so
very
come on, people.
useful for Commander Sisko.
Yeah.
Very controversial use of this illness indeed, if I remember what happens with it.
So he's like, "Hey, hello, I represent. Yeah, you're a Cardassian, whatever."
Right. So he asked her if there were any Cardassian survivors, and she says no.
Yeah, she's like, "Nope. The moment your people attacked us, you were all dead." But that's not what happens later on.
Yeah, by the way, the Dominion has now used that to answer why do you do what you do for 2 straight episodes. They have to do a little better than this, and I think they probably do later. But right now, the 2 episodes that I watched today where they talked about their motivations, like why do you do this? It's like, well, we're evil because we're bad, of course.
Right. So he informs them what's going on, but he's like, "Well, I'm going to die if I don't." So they get to the place, and
I just
Bashir and Sisko beam down to a little island.
Yeah, they're waiting on the high ground where Obi-Wan's going to be later. But you mentioned this. You mentioned his age before, and I hadn't thought of this, but shouldn't they have stopped off and let him meet his favorite baseball player first, since he's basically a foundling Make-A-Wish kid at this point?
Yes.
Wow.
I do like, there is a funny part here where it's like they've been sitting here for a long time, and Bashir
Yeah,
picks
he's
up-
on OnlyFans.
he picks up a flat rock and is about to skip it across the Great Link. And Sisko's like, whoa, what are you doing?
He's like, yeah, maybe don't throw anything into the living lake.
He turns around and Worf is over there, like standing over the road. Look like he's gonna pee in it. Hey, what? I gotta go.
Back when Klingons had just one penis.
Gosh. Oh, don't
In
remind me of
in
that.
New
please.
Trek, they have 2. I'm sorry.
Oh my god!
I saw it, and
no.
now you have to hear about it. That's how it works.
So if you would like to know why they thought, hey, they should have two. There was a TNG episode where Worf is injured, and they find out, oh yeah, Klingons have two hearts. So because they have two hearts, they obviously will have two of everything.
It's a backup.
Yeah, right.
I thought it was so
It's
they
a
could.
backup.
That was actually just done as a terrible, gross shock.
He's
It
right,
didn't have
exactly.
any sci-fi value to it. No one, there was no conversation later about how, of course, because of what she said, because then I would have been like, bad, but all they ever do is shock, pander, and offend us on the
Right,
new
and
show.
on a
Exactly.
throwaway line too, just for
Yeah.
It was rough. It was really rough, yeah.
So
Which means, by the way, that guy they changed to be indistinguishable from a human. Think about it. Like, what is he now on their planet? What restroom does he use? He's only got half as many as everyone else.
you don't know. So Garak here is like, I'm going to take control of the weapons on the ship and just blast all the founders. Not a bad idea, but there are other people involved that don't want to die.
And it's very selfish of them considering the stakes.
Yeah, it is.
Great performance here by Garak and Worf, kind of facing off and trading barbs.
Yeah. And Worf's like, you fight pretty good for a tailor.
Yeah, I what had to go through my mind is, so now canonically, that means that Cardassians are about 3.5 times as strong as a human, right? Because Spock is 5 times as strong, and he's a Vulcan. Now, we assume he's as strong as all other Vulcans. It's not like full-blooded Vulcans are 10 times stronger. It would be preposterous. So we figure he gets full Vulcan strength, maybe 95%, whatever. And so, like, Kirk is, like, as strong as, like, 1.7 humans. But then we got our normal people dealing with this stuff. And, we like, I suppose the Cardassians have to have 3 times human strength, because to be able to fight him, I believe Worf says there are only 3 people on the Enterprise who could beat me. And I believe one of them would be Data. One of them, I suppose, because he would give him cleverness, would be Riker. And I'm guessing the third and only last one would be either Riker, would be the captain, or God forbid, Guinan.
Oh, no.
Well, she's supposed to be amazeballs. Remember, we
Yeah,
don't get
right.
into it. But the Q is afraid of her because she makes a cat-like pose.
That was so funny. They make these weird little hand gestures at each other.
What
They're Italian.
What are you getting ready to do? Yeah, exactly. He called her a pooping yachts and told her to get lost.
Yeah. So they finally, Odo comes back out of the link, and he's naked.
And he's human.
And he's human. It's like,
He's got
Bashir's
blood.
starts scanning him. He's got a full nervous system in there.
Oh,
but
dear.
he's human, but he still looks like he has putty skin.
Yeah.
Yeah, his face is still all putty skinned, and all I could think of is wow, man, this worked out totally different for Odo than it did for fucking Anakin.
Language.
I'm sorry. Oh, I'm sorry.
Okay.
This worked out totally different for him than it did for Anakin.
Yeah, so they beam up 3. It's like, where's Odo? Who's this third person? Yeah, now Odo has a whole new world to experience.
A whole new world.
I just want to say, I live in New York City, so I went 2 hours and 16 minutes. I did okay. I really tried. 176 minutes profanity free, and I'm sorry that it was the great. I wish it would have been the S one, but yeah, I can you just accept my apology? I'm very sorry.
That's okay. It's okay.
I
I'm not
think
going
it
to
would
throw
have
you
gone.
off the screen.
I think it would have gone different if you were driving during this stream.
Yeah.
Jacob's going back and he's got the time code written. Just go back there to clip that one. I made a profanity, people. I'm sorry.
That's okay.
I wonder what
This
blood
reminded
type
me
he
of the
is.
thing, by the way. O positive, in case you're wondering, right? Wasn't that it? Or O negative? It was O something. He was a
Oh, I'm
universal
O positive.
Oh, positive is a
Most,
universal
I
donor.
think it's the most.
Yeah.
I think it's also most common.
Right.
No, O negative is the universal donor.
Is it?
Right. So I think it's also most common.
Yeah. So O positive, you can donate to any positives, whereas O negative, you can donate to everybody because positives can only donate to positives. Negatives can donate to both positives and negatives.
Right.
I remembered biology.
So
let's go.
So Odo is Oneg.
Oh my.
YouTube.
That's right, Roman.
Hey, what's going on? By the way, YouTube hates when we talk about science. So if you do a re-upload of this, like live, you can get away with it. But if you do a re-upload of this, just cut the science talk. We're never doing the episode Miri for 2 reasons, and they're easy to figure out.
So he's like, no, he actually has to wear a uniform. So he was going around naked all over the place. Ew.
No one needed that mental image, Jacob. No one needed that.
No, I disagree. I'm a better man for it, and I think I want to thank Jacob for just sharing it with me so I can see it through his eyes. Thank you, sir.
You're welcome. Like it's a miniature.
I mean, I think that we got Eraserhead with that one. He's built like a Ken doll. Not anymore, Roman of the Empire. He's packing all he's packing his twig and berries, as they say. And it seems like what do you call it? Setup and payoff, or loading Chekhov's love gun that he got an offer for any time, any place, baby, at the beginning of this episode, and ends the episode with the ability to pull it off. It's like, hey. This was was this like analogous to when the writers became wealthy Star Trek writers and then had money and were able to talk to women for the first time rather than have you know what I mean? Because all Star Trek dialogue where a man comes on to a woman is always a little bit awkward, and it's never
it's
that
so
natural.
Bad. It's not a little bit. Holy moly, man! I've seen AI that can do better pickup lines than some of these.
You gotta, okay, so
right, and they don't know how to approach people naturally because they're such nerds. They're so good at writing sci-fi. They're not good at writing personal stuff.
The other thing is,
or they'd be dating. Sorry.
Remember, this is the mid '90s.
Yeah.
So
we're back. I got to go buy some cocaine right now.
Wait, I might be like 3 years old now. I get to invest my lunch money in buying a house.
Roman,
right? Just put all my money into Twitter.
So he's like, I feel weird. I think I'm hungry. And he's right. Wouldn't you like to go back in time before you tasted anything and just explore different foods?
Yes.
I would like to punk someone who had never tasted food before. I would give him the most disgusting thing I've ever eaten. I'd be like that is the most. He's like, wait, that is chocolate cake. That when people have been talking about chocolate cake, this is what it is. It doesn't get better than this. And you got to do it every few hours. And like have him go to sleep for the first time, dreading it.
Prune Jello.
It's like I've researched the British menu. I've researched the menu of a British restaurant. Found some really horrible freaking food for people who don't have any teeth.
Just give him some eels. This is the most delectable thing throughout the galaxy. This eels, jellied eels.
You'll love this next entree. It's from a movie called Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom.
Yeah, it's snakes and fries.
Chilled monkey brains.
Yeah.
We got it all. I mean, you could have so much fun punking Odo. He's taste blind. You could give him a huge thing of Jack Daniels and be like, yeah, this is water. Check it out. It's like, okay, yeah, I need some water right now. I'm pretty hot. It's like, okay. It's like, oh my God, that's horrible. So, yeah, this is what life is like for us, fleshies.
We constantly break each other. It's fun.
Yeah, right. And mess with them all day.
Yeah, so he's like, speaking of problems, you're gonna go to jail. We're gonna go to the holding cell for a few months.
6 months.
6 months for almost starting a war. Yeah, it's kind of light.
And massive kidnapping, co-opting a Federation vessel, undermining a captain. But sometimes, in this situation, he was DEI Sisko. He's like, damn, my ship got hijacked again.
And here we go. Here we go. We got to have our cliffhanger at the end here. It's like I get the. He's telling Cisco that he got these like flashes of things, but couldn't quite figure out what it meant or what it was.
He was seeing faces.
Faces.
And parts of a place. He could tell there were things they were trying to withhold from him. And it relates to the beginning of this episode, but I don't know if the audience back then would have gotten the setup and payoff. But then, yeah, it ends with 2 minutes hate from Galron, who's announced a new military initiative against the Dominion, where he's like, no more Mr. Nice Galron, no more Mr. Nice Klingon. He's coming out there with everything they've got. He's maybe even he's got a Genesis device. He's coming for the Dominion and for the Cardassians rather. And Odo's like, that's what they didn't want me to know.
Well,
Galron is the spy.
So it's what is it? So they're talking like we're going to take the Arcadis 4 system and it's ours. It's like the Ukraine. It's
is
Russia,
it Argelius?
Ukraine.
Is the planet?
Is it Argelius or
Argelius, which is a TOS? It's Argil something. If it's Argelius, it's a TOS planet, isn't it?
He's saying Arcanus.
Arcanus. Okay, Argelius is a TOS
It might
planet.
be another. Yeah, it might be another planet. So he's like, Galron is a changeling. And that's
which
all
is
she wrote,
crazy
folks.
because the ridges on his head ridges should be like fingerprints. Like how they were able to be that precise. Like it's. What does this say to Odo's sense of initiative? He's like, I'm going to sit here today all day and concentrate on growing some eyebrows. I'm just going to.
And that's all. To be continued.
Dun, dun, dun.
That was a great.
That's the season cliffhanger, right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Seasons, yeah. So we got to pick up season 5.
Nana Visitor will no longer be with child when we return. She'll
Uh,
get herself right back into shape.
Deep Space Nine had 7 seasons.
Mhm.
Think about that.
Mhm,
How
yeah.
old is her child now? If it was born the year after like the months after this episode,
So that would have been 96 or 96.
So that
Are
kid
you
is
sure
now
it's
53
96?
years
90.
old,
Let me look. real
right?
quick.
So that would make her.
I was
kid
born in
53
92.
Years old, right? So you're 50.
I'm 30.
Wait, what?
I was-
1998. Oh, 1990. I thought you said 1892. I'm sorry.
So this is 90. I think
I'm
it's
bad with math.
90
96.
Yeah,
at least.
Early
yeah.
96.
So that would make him like 50.
Was it a boy or a girl? I can't remember.
It's Hollywood.
1990. The kid
It
was
a
born in
boy for a while.
1996.
So it'd be 29.
Correct.
I was just messing around with the messed up math.
I'm like, how old am I?
Yeah.
How old am I?
Yeah, like well, Untamed Mando's taking off her shoes. Like, what the hell?
Wait a second. Yes, Roman, we've already established I am the same age as your daughter.
Roman and I are the same age. We were born in during the Roman Empire. The American Navy was like one of many navies he served in. He's like Pat in that way. He was in the Roman Navy too. Don't let him lie to you.
So the original air date for this episode was June 17th, 1996.
I remember where I was that day.
96. My sister would have been born a couple months right after this episode aired.
It was like 3 days before my birthday. I was like I was on like a wild bender doing all sorts of unprincipled things, sirs and madams. And hey, look, it's the they them Hadar. There you go, ladies and gentlemen, the they them Hadar.
I almost forgot about this. I was like,
It's a
yeah,
fat
we should
black
probably
lady.
address this.
It's a fat black lady.
Yep.
And
And just to
part
let y'all
Klingon.
know, there are
And
no
I'm pretty-
females. Jem'Hadar grown in a tube, and
Yeah.
they don't need females.
Well,
they don't
here's
need-
the thing: she's half Klingon. They revealed.
Oh, that's
I-
right.
So I believe the
There are
idea
multiple
is
half
this,
Klingons in this show too.
but here's the thing: most of them are only going to have like less than B'Elanna level of Klingonism. What they're doing is they're going to show us this. We'll see her once in a while. She'll be the teacher, and they'll film all her stuff in one day because they can't afford makeup people.
Yeah, it's
And all
too
the
much.
other people will have a very, very tiny jelly ridge or a very, very tiny ear thing, and they're mostly going to be human. That's why poor Melissa Navia, who plays Ortegas on Star Trek Discovery, Star Trek Strange New Worlds, has to shave her head into a Marine Corps high and tight. It's not because it's convincing or it's cool or it's a good look. It's because they won't make an alien, so they have to make humans look weird.
Yeah.
And Rebecca Romaine's beer belly has to be treated as sexy.
Oh,
Wait, what,
I'm sorry. No one in the show is allowed to be prettier than her. Last year, when she hit her goal weight and all the other female cast members were allowed to dress attractively, that was like a great 3 episodes, and then she like lost it again.
what are you talking about? Yes, I haven't seen the show, so she has a beer belly.
Sometimes the thing is that it'll take them all 2 years to get those episodes together, and they'll be going back and hitting episode 1 that they filmed 2 years ago, like 1 month before it airs. So you're going to get messed up, like non-continuity visuals of Rebecca Romaine, who last year and this year, I guess, was like losing weight to play Mystique again, right? So you got to figure she's going to be looking pretty revealing. So she was just not, I guess she had been a bikini model for so long. She's a fitness model. So I suppose she was sick of it. And like we've all seen as guys, like what does that baseball player look like 5 years after he retires when he's the manager? Look at Lou Piniella when he was playing.
he looks
and look
like
at
all
Lou
the
Piniella
fans that
now.
watch him on TV that drink beer.
Look at Lou Piniella. He was called Sweet Lou because every woman in New York wanted him. But think of what he looked like at the end of his career, waddling out there yelling at the umpire. But that's what they do to us with the modern Star Trek. They bait us to have divisive conversations to keep us apart because, Jacob, I don't know how far you want me to go with this about who I think is behind it, but there are people who don't want to see Americans ever do anything cooperative and who want to undermine our belief in the idea that we could ever have teamwork. And what better to do that with than destroying Star Trek? I believe they are communists from a place across the ocean from Japan. How's that for talking a way around it?
There you go.
Yeah,
that certain landmass that's north or south.
I think they're a word that starts with D that rhymes with mix.
West.
How's that for not cursing on your channel? We're doing creative workarounds here.
Exactly.
But I love that you had me on here to talk about these great DS9 episodes
glad
that mirror the real Cold War back in the day.
Yeah. Well, I mean, okay, so she's 52, so I can't expect her to look like she's 23 in a bikini.
No, I don't expect it either. But the thing is,
she's gonna wear a girdle.
Look, all of that's fine. I don't expect any of that from Rebecca Romaine. I expect a little bit of acting ability and that she would be present for the show and that she would be a good castmate. She lets them mess up her castmates and ugly them up. Melissa Navia has said her 3-year contract has lasted 8 years. She can't get work. So I do feel.
Well, if you're in a crappy show like that, that might hurt.
But the productions. What happens is it wasn't the acting that hurt her. It's that she has to shave her head to do the role. So she's never able to play anything but someone with a high and tight. They give her a Marine Corps high and tight. Her hair and Anson Mount's are very close, except they shave hers down to the skin. And it's unfair to the actress who has lost jobs over it. And Rebecca Romaine, it's built around her schedule. So like what Melissa Navia has said, and you can find this if you look through her X, is that she has to drop everything and change her look back to that 4 or 5 times a year. So there's no recovery time, and it's always happening.
Ridiculous.
And it's when Rebecca Romaine feels like doing it, and it's when Anson Mount feels like doing it. So, and it's also when they scrape up enough money to pay Anson Mount to be in the 10 seconds where he nods at them, because Rebecca and Anson are largely not present. And if you trash Star Trek on Anson Mount's Twitter without saying anything bad about him, he won't like block you, and he won't argue with you. And like if you talk to him about other stuff, he'll even like it. Like he doesn't give a shit about the show anymore. I'm sorry, he does not care about the show anymore.
Yeah,
right.
He's tired of being.
That's something that I'm surprised that actors keep going back because it's only hurting
I
their
think he was.
careers.
You know
This
what?
kind of
What
stuff.
happened? They were held hostage. This is what happened. They were signed to a 3-year contract.
Yeah.
Deception level number 1 was that season 1 is season 0 because they mixed it with Star Trek Discovery. So now they've just got everybody out of. They got parity pay because there's an established rate of pay, but now there's no raise for season 2 because you worked season 1. Turns out it was season 0 and you were just a guest star. You didn't know this stuff. Then you do season 1. Season 2 is season 3. You're supposed to already be getting a raise. You're not. And what did they do? They were accused before it went to court of not writing Star Trek and trying to do it bad on purpose to trigger their buyout to get 6 years pay in 1. 7 years pay in 2. So that was the accusation before it went to arbitration to be resolved. Arbitration is secret, court is open. Hollywood contracts all have arbitration-only clauses in them, which is why the Gina Carano thing only got as far as it did because of Elon's money. So that's why we have so much going on swirling behind the scenes here. It's the arbitration's keeping a lot of this stuff secret. And with Star Trek, don't believe any of these crazy rumors they're flooding the zone with. I believe that it's barring a groundbreaking announcement from the Ellisons, who are not dumb. I believe the Kurtzman Trek is done because of these 2 reasons. The Paramount sale is done, and the people who own Skydance own Oracle, who are government defense contractors, much smarter than people who make movies, who are not going to be conned like Jeff Bezos was by the Star Trek Discovery people.
Yeah, and they're going to want to make money.
Yeah, because, by the way, the Star Trek Discovery spin-off is Rings of Power. That's their same writers. We now have the B team writing Star Trek. The A team went on to the new grift, which is Rings of Power. But that's a whole other story. This is bad robot-related bad faith storytelling.
Mando's just done.
The way to save the Mando movie is this. Announce that you'll have Gina Carano in it. Have Pedro Pascal refuse to be in the movie because she's in it, which would have the
I'm
people
referring to the
talking
Rings of Power.
positively. Oh, the Rings of Power? We can save Mando. I'm sorry, they use your name. I guess
fine.
Since I said it really quick, you know what would save the Mando movie? If she was litigated to be in it, which is a likely thing in labor law. And if Pedro Pascal says, well, I won't be in a movie with her. And they're like, all right, fine. Like right away, people's interest in the movie goes up because Pedro won't be
100%.
in it. And the fact that he's doing it over Gina has the people who like Gina now made. It's not going to save Star Wars, but it would change the fate of that movie.
Pedro wouldn't be in it. You just have John Wayne's grandson do the part.
Right?
Just nods instead of speaking.
I don't understand why.
Harvest some vocals from harvest some audio from before, right? He said, yeah. Hi, Kara. He said that stuff. We could use it. See ya.
Yeah.
I don't understand why, like, why does the studio want to deal with Pedro Pascal when we don't need to see his face?
Wait,
like,
it gets better. What if Daisy Ridley won't be in a movie with Gina Carano either? And they're like, by mistake, it becomes a 75% Gina movie. You know what I mean? Like it's almost all Gina. It's just like Gina and Skinwalker Luke, and that's like with like maybe Childish Gambino, like bridging the gap between the like. Yeah, I knew Han Solo. It's like no, you didn't, but okay. Well, we'll deal with this. You were the guy who had the weird relationship with their droid, but anything more creative than what they have now.
Yeah, definitely. But anywho, that's a wrap, people.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, definitely, man. Glad you could come on in last minute. So that's great.
It was my pleasure to do the research. I love watching Star Trek. I have a little bit of a blind spot on Deep Space Nine, but I called one of my Star Trek hombres and made sure to get a little more context. And the mistake of watching the episode before and having time to watch a little bit of the one after, it pretty much grounded me into this nonstop soap opera. This seems to be a whole season that can't get by without previously on, which is a little bit un-Star Trek, but everything else still is Star Trek-like. They're not upending, offending, and subverting Star Trek. They're just doing it in a soap opera style. So I have no problem with what I watched. It was good.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You know, there are some really, really good episodes in it. Just got to watch it.
No, there are. I know that it's good. And my issue is this: I have started but not finished every single episode of Deep Space Nine. I finished like 2/3 of them, but I do find it to be an appealing show. I like Voyager better, so I ended up becoming more of like something of an
Okay.
expert in that. Trying to make the private chat go, but it doesn't seem to work. But if I paste my link in the chat, would you just repaste it?
Sure.
Okay, so this is my channel. If you haven't subbed, I would certainly appreciate you helping me fight to save Star Trek, take back the first thing that the woke weirdos took away from us. They took away Star Trek first as a test case on how to destroy the rest of it. And we've been in this fight as Star Trek fans for 16 years against this woke weirdness. And as they said in the episode, Omega Glory, what was ours before will be ours again. We will drive the communists off and we will save Star Trek. Join me. You will be well
Yes.
treated. Thank you, Eraserhead.
Yeah, thanks, Eraser.
And thank you. That's my pill pitch. I'm around Saturday nights at 10 o'clock for a really great Star Trek show where right now we're on Enterprise. We're moving chronologically through the entire series. We're doing something different than anyone ever did before. I don't think anyone ever started with Enterprise before. And no more watch parties. There'll now be watch parties before on my friend Resolute Germs channel. There's stuff about that in my community posts tab. And also, we now have from 10 to about 12:30 every Saturday. So the watch parties before, and then we have our show with a slideshow and a video component. I think you'll like it.
Nice.
It's a new format. I don't
Head
know
over there,
who's seen it
Pete.
yet.
If you're not
Thank you.
subscribed to Teag, get over there. He
We're
does.
the only-
He has good content.
Thank you. Coming from you, that's a great compliment because you know some fantastic creators.
Yeah, you're one of them. Oh, Shieldwall.
I'm not worthy of that.
What you got coming?
So on Thursday, be on Rome of the Empire's channel, and we'll be doing our favorite sci-fi military movies. That's 5 Pacific Standard Time. And then next week, I will be on this channel where we will be going over the Two Towers, the movie The Two Towers. So looking forward to that.
Yes, get some actually good Lord of the Rings content.
Yep.
That's the worst of those movies, but it's still an A++ movie. It's got parts of the book chopped out and other parts of the other book grandfathered in, and they dwell on 12 pages. Like, what is it, 15 pages?
Breathe,
is the
Mando.
battle.
Breathe.
But it's good. It's a great movie.
Yeah. It is.
Best end theme song of all three, right?
Yeah.
It's actually my favorite out of the 3 movies.
Mine is Fellowship. Yeah, I can
Yeah.
see why it's people's
Mine's
favorite.
Fellowship.
Listen, what they did with the book to make the Two Towers such a good movie, I approve of what they did for the movie, and I think they made the most fantastic choices for those 3 movies, and especially with the special edition. There's nothing wrong with any of them. That one, though, is the one that just it's the least related to the source material in the books, and it's where they start to deviate from the lore of Tolkien a little bit, but I understand why they had to do it to make their movie. The Fellowship of the Ring, there's not a lot of deviation in that movie. Just the fact that Saruman creates the storm, when in the book it was just the giants. It just happened.
I just Two Towers has Boromir's, scene, and that's just my favorite.
Are you talking about the flashback scene where he's, for Gondor?
No, when he dies.
That's the end of Fellowship.
Yeah.
He dies in
He
Fellowship
does
of
in
the Ring.
Fellowship at the end.
In
He does.
Two
I'm
Towers,
sorry.
he's only in
Oh
the
my
special
gosh.
edition. He's only in the special edition.
I
of
need
Two
to head to
Towers.
bed soon.
He's in all 3 movies, though.
Yep.
He's in all. He made it. He does die in movie 1, but he still manages to be in all 3. So
but
way
he's
to
in
go.
all 3.
They should have found a way to put him in
So-
Hobbit.
Yeah.
It's like,
We'll go for
hi.
A little kid. Have him be a little kid.
His brother made it all the way to Greece and fought with
Just
the
like
guys in
having-
300.
Just have him in the Hobbit as a little kid, but like CGI his face over the little kid.
Or have him voice a
The-
fantastical creature. He could have been a
There you
really
go.
good Bjorn.
Oh yeah, he could have been. But anywho, Mando, what do you have coming?
Well, on my channel tomorrow, we will probably be playing some more Phasmophobia, where you can hunt the ghost, but most of the time the ghost hunts you. Because there's a new update with the game. It's been a lot of fun. It's a little glitchy, but it's been fun. Thursday, I will be on Roman of the Empire channel. I will probably pick some sort of movie that has lions in it just to spite you, Roman.
Futuristic battle lions.
Exactly. If there's not a movie out there, I will make one up. I'm sure there's probably one in some obscure section of the world in India or something. And then Sunday, we will hopefully, if the DM is feeling well, he has been sick last time, and we'll be going back to Skull and Shackles, which is a Pathfinder. And if you don't know what Pathfinder is, it's Dungeons and Dragons, but it's different rules and different stuff, but you still roll dice. And we are pirates, and we are about to face off against a ghost pirate ship, which is going to be fabulous. Somehow I'm the captain of this ship, and there's a manticore that's in our crew, which is a lion hybrid thing. So, yeah.
So you're fighting Davy Jones.
Basically.
Okay. Cool. Well, anywho. Yeah, so yes. Tomorrow night, I will be on the Eclectic Goat channel, and we'll be going over the TV show Daybreak. Okay. It's pretty good. It's not bad. And then I'll be on Roman's show for the, Future Soldier movies. Right?
Yes.
Okay. So I'll be on there for that, and back here next week, 2 Towers. So, cool. Thanks to everybody in the chat. Thanks to Teag and my co-host for being here, and we will see y'all next time. Have a good one, everybody.
Toodaloo.
Laters.
All I can say, McKay, is you take a hell of a long time to say goodbye.
Well, so long. So long.
See you around, Burton.
Never can tell.
Good boy.
Happy trails, Hans.
Say goodbye.
Goodbye.
Goodbye, bro.
Goodbye, Arab!
Goodbye, Northman.